This meeting is being broadcast on Facebook Live.
All right, and momentarily, everyone, thank you guys for tuning in and joining in with us on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. If you are watching on Facebook, I just want everyone to know that we are also simultaneously broadcasting on YouTube as well. So you have an opportunity to watch on either one of those platforms. What I want you guys to know, for those of you that are on Facebook, I want you guys to eventually migrate over to YouTube. Level Up will soon be broadcasting only on YouTube in the coming weeks. So just to kind of give you guys a heads up, we are doing a simulcast today and a few weeks after, but very, very soon, where you can find us broadcasting live, you guys can head on over to The Real Level Up on YouTube. All right. And welcome to Level Up, Real Talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the B. Welcome, 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 everyone. And thank you guys for hanging out with us this beautiful Sunday
The broadcast
afternoon.
of Facebook Live has stopped.
We have tried one more time, Mr. Scribe. Okay, we've got to do it one more time, YouTube Live. We're going to go right back on to...
This meeting is being broadcast on Facebook Live.
And welcome to Level Up, Real Talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the B. Welcome, 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 everyone. And thank you guys for hanging out with us this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Hey, everybody that is on Facebook, I want to let you guys know that you can head on over to The Real Level Up. That's The Real Level Up on YouTube. There, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because in the coming weeks, that's where you will be seeing the real level up from the weeks to come. All right. So we're giving everyone an opportunity on our Facebook page to start migrating over to our YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel. Yes, everyone, Level Up is leveling up. We will soon be broadcasting from YouTube only. All right. Now let's get right into our conversation. As you guys know, we're always bringing in ordinary people with extraordinary stories. And this show is no different. Let me tell you guys, we have two dynamic couples that will be joining us today. First that will be on is John and Sandra Posey. But before I bring them onto the mic, you guys, of course, I got to bring my co-host in on this conversation. Mr. Scribe, how you doing?
It's kind of out, so I'm doing pretty well. You know, I love sunshine, and when there's a little bit of cloudiness, I know there's liquid sunshine, so I'm doing very well today. Thanks for asking.
Look, and there's nothing wrong with liquid sunshine. Now, every once in a while, you know, the sunshine is always brighter because we have those liquid sunshines, okay? So we have those cloudy days. So I'm not mad about it. Let me tell you something. It's sunny over here.
The sun can't shine everywhere, but as long as it's on the inside, you always walk around. I'm getting a little philosophical here, but as long as it's on the inside, it doesn't matter if there's clouds because the sun will shine.
It's all good. It's all good. Well, of course, Mr. Scribe, we have another dynamic show. We always say that each and every time that we are on live. Who is on this show today, you guys? Once again, if you're just now tuning in, John and Sandra Posey. Let me just remind everyone why we have asked Dr. Posey, I'm sorry, told me not to even say that, John Posey to come on once again. Mr. Scribe, when he was sharing about his wife, what did we say? We want her
bring
on
him back on. We got to bring him back on and bring her with him. So that's what you said. You said we got to get him back on, but bring his other half onto the show as well.
Wait, I said better half.
Angie, of course you're going to say that. Mostly the ladies always say the better half. I can't say I disagree. I don't want to get in trouble with anybody, just in case my other half is listening.
Well, Dr. John Posey, I'm trying my best John, go ahead and unmute your mic. Sandra, go ahead and unmute your mic and say hello to our viewing audience.
Well, hello, hello, hello.
Hello, and we're excited to be here, and we know we're going to have a great time.
Absolutely. Listen, our show is not a show unless you guys come on and share your amazing story. You guys are ordinary people with extraordinary stories, and I have to say, John and Sandra, when I heard about you all's, first of all, your friendship first, about you all's marriage, your union with one another, and look, I'm not going to say it right now, but when we come back from our break, I am going to let everyone know how long this dynamic couple has been together. Oh, we're going to go all the way back, Sandra. Look, we're going to go all the way. She's like, bring it on.
Bring it on, baby.
Bring it on. But before we get started with our conversation with you guys, of course, we're going to take a break. But before we do our break, we're going to set the tone for this show. So, Mr. Scribe, do you have our scripture ready?
Yes, I do, because I do not want any demerits. So I got to be on point today. I almost got a demerit for the Facebook Live, but we're going to let that slide. Our scripture today is from 1 Peter, 3rd chapter, the 1st through the 2nd, and then the 7th verse. And it reads, "Wives, likewise be submissive to your own husbands, that even if some do not obey the word, they, without a word, will be won by the conduct of their wives, when they observe your chaste conduct accompanied by fear. Husbands, likewise, dwell with them with understanding, giving honor to the wife as to the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers may not be hindered."
Oh, man. So apropos for our discussion. Listen, everyone, if you want to share this with your family and friends, I suggest that you hit that share button on Facebook. And let me say this, there is a way that you can share this video, this message, this conversation, really, with all your family and friends on YouTube. Now, what we do understand that there are some people that do not have Facebook. And just for that, most of our family and friends are on YouTube. So in the middle of our conversation and during the break, I will actually set and let you guys have the link to our YouTube page so that you guys can share it with family and friends. Before we go to break, I'm going to lead us in prayer, and then we're going to go to break. Heavenly Father, I just want to say thank you. Thank you. Thank you. God, you're an amazing Father. You're an on-time God. And God, if we will just see what your will is each and every day, then our time can line up to your time. God, thank you for our Savior, Jesus Christ, the author and perfecter of our faith. What we ask, God, we ask that you fill us up with your Spirit today, so that the words that come out of our mouth will be the words that you want everyone to hear on today. Thank you for giving us this platform. Thank you for all of us who had the time to gather around today in your name. And in Jesus' name, we do pray. You're listening and watching Level Up, Real Talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the B. We'll be right back.
Feeling sluggish? Bloated? Overweight? You could be toxic from your environment, food, and medications. It's time for a clean start. Come by or book online today.
Nothing excites me more than to see children read the books that I illustrated and helped bring to life. You know, it's the process from start to finish, and you know, at the finish line, you see the children smiling and excited and sharing the stories with other children about, you know, an image or a book that they read. Another thing that gives me joy is working with new and upcoming writers, people who have all these stories that they want to tell and, you know, things that they want to share with the world, you know, just like, you know, me wanting to express myself as an artist and, you know, share my expressions. You know, people are doing the same thing with their stories, and to help, I feel like I'm helping making their dream come true.
Men's and women's wear has statement pieces or full head-to-toe custom design. It's the personal styling service customized to your fit, lifestyle, and budget. I am Marion Boyd, CEO and your designer guide for success. Contact me at 770-402-0730 Eastern Standard Time from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. only. I'm on Facebook at Marion G. Boyd or Instagram at Marion_Collection1. Get in, my people.
Ikemia Arrington is a career empowerment speaker, business strategist to career professionals and employed entrepreneurs who are building their businesses while working demanding full-time job, as well as a visionary event producer. She is on a mission to help the massive take career control by positioning them to transition into careers, businesses, and life they love on their terms. Kim certainly affirms that you can love your Mondays by doing only the work you desire and enjoy. Who says you can't love your Mondays? Kim affirms that you most certainly can.
Is a non-profit 501c3 community-based organization providing holistic health and wellness with locations in Marietta and Metro Atlanta. Our qualified behavioral health professionals provide extensive counseling and treatment in substance abuse, mental health, and opioid addiction. Someone Cares offers a variety of services, and our professionals are waiting to serve you. We are not just an agency, we are a friend.
Gonna speak life in every way, let the people see, let them see, and make sure you know you're right. Oh, when you speak.
The broadcast to Facebook Live has stopped.
You are listening to Level Up with Sisters of the Skies Incorporated.
This is Terrell Murphy. Get inspired with Level Up. Real talk that takes you higher.
Hey, this is Richard Shaw Jr. Make sure you're believing again. Also, level up. Check them out every Sunday from 3 to 6 p.m.
Hey, this is Sandra Kerr. Level Up. Check them out every Sunday from 3 to 6 p.m. Don't touch that dial.
And welcome back to Level Up, real talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the B. Welcome back, everyone. If you guys will give me just a second, we had just a little bit of technical difficulty, so give me 1 second. It is actually on the Facebook side, Mr. Scribe, so we are having some difficulties with our Facebook, so I apologize to everyone who is watching at this moment, but our Facebook is having some of our technical difficulties. So let me try and fix that on our end here. I apologize, Posey. Dr. Posey, we are trying our best. We're still actually running on YouTube, so Mr. Scribe, go ahead and while I'm working on this, because I'm going to come off the live right now, go ahead and start the interview because we are still running on YouTube, and I will find out what's going on with Facebook, okay?
So you want me to sit in the hot seat and start off with questions, and so welcome.
It's time for you to put
Mr.
your
Posey, Miss
guy.
Posey.
The broadcast to Facebook Live has stopped.
I don't know where we want to start. I guess we can start with your other half since you were on the show before. So just give us a little bit of background. I won't take away Angie's thunder in reference to going all the way back like she likes to go back. So I'm just wanting you to introduce yourself and just tell us a little bit about you.
Hello. Little feedback there. Hey, I'm Sandra Posey, and I'm the other half, and they like to see on the
This meeting is being broadcast on Facebook Live.
You're the better half.
Okay, she's just reconnecting to Facebook. So we got you front and center.
Okay, you want me to continue? I got a little feedback here. Okay, great. Hey, I'm Sandra Posey, and my husband says I'm the better half, and I received that. I'll walk in that. I was, I don't know how far you want me to go back, but basically, I'll make it a short synopsis. My husband and we were both born in Ohio. We both went to the same school at different times. I'm older than him, and I got born again under his ministry. I was going through a really hard time in my 20s, and I had nowhere else to reach but to God, and He brought this young man into my life, and it was a real transformational experience. Not only did I get born again under his ministry, several years later, a couple of years, we got married. And the Lord told him when he came down to the altar, take a good look at her, because she's going to be profitable to your ministry. And so anyway, God had a plan. So our marriage, we've been together for a while, but our marriage has been because God had a plan from the very beginning. And we followed his plan, which makes the biggest difference in all things. We had 3 children, 1 beautiful grandchild. She's going to turn 15. And I have a new grandbaby coming in June. Gone to college, graduated from college, been in ministry school, been a minister and women's ministry, and on and on. And I just, God has called us to couples ministry, and we've been working in ministry for over 40 years. So that's my little.
That's fine. But what I've also noticed too is within the last maybe couple of years through the pandemic and everything that we've been going through, women have always been at the forefront. I can remember going to church and noticing all the mothers of the church and but the sisters are really not just the sisters, women in general are just becoming so empowered. They're joining together like they've always have, but they're making major impacts, showing us men how some things need to be done. So that's a big deal. That's a very big deal.
Well, we won't say too much about that, won't we, Sandra?
I've noticed that women, they've always been empowered, but it's just that some more of the stories are coming to the forefront with technology and just a shifting. We know that everybody doesn't feel that way, but women's voices are being even more heard now than what I can remember. There's always been powerful women, but they've been quieted or pushed to the side. But these women said, I'm not going to be on the sidelines. I'm stepping up and I'm walking in the power that God has given me to join with other women and to show the men, hey, we're here and we need to be heard. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, I want to now since you direct your question to Sandra, I'll direct mine to John. So John, just going all the way back, same thing, going all the way back when you guys, we want to hear your side of the story. All right. So.
Well, absolutely. And let me just say, it is my mission to push my wife forward so that she can do what God has called her to do. Because my mission in life is impacting the one who impacts many. So that's what I do. And I love Sandra to go and do what she does. And I'm right there encouraging her. I'm probably her greatest cheerleader without a question.
Absolutely.
Oh, man.
So my story, just going back, raised in Cincinnati, Ohio, like Sandra. My wife, my mother, actually brought her to me. So I think that's pretty good when your mama brings. So brought her to me. Praise the Lord, Mama and God, and We hooked up, began to walk together. First of all, just just because we love the Word of God, love the things of God, and then that migrated into a relationship with each other. And we were honorable in how we dated and how we engaged and all that part, honorable according to God's word. And when you establish the Word of God as your base, and that as your basis of authority, then you don't build a marriage based upon emotion. You build a marriage based upon the Word of God and the Spirit of God working through you. Wow. So we began to walk together, and for these now 41 years, as she said, we served. You know what we found more than anything is the importance of working together. And the Lord taught me when I was in my early 20s that I could accomplish a lot on my own. Okay. But if I could come together and become one with Sandra, and we could work together, I would do 10 times much of what I would ever be able to do by myself. And the Bible says one will put 1,000, but two will put 10,000 to flight.
10,000. So it's exponential.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's what I believe. That's what I believe.
And I would like to add on to that, John. What happened was when we got married, he was the minister and I was his wife, and I was a nurse and I worked in surgery. So I wasn't a minister when we got together. So the first maybe 10 or 11 years, we both went to Bible school. He was, he took positions as assistant pastors, but yet I still wasn't called to be a minister. But as God was always speaking to him and giving him direction and leadership, but then that's when the Lord says, you know what? I'm no longer going to just speak to you about what I want you to do. I want to now bring your wife in and you two work together. I'll speak to both of you. And you both hear from one another what I'm saying, and you come into agreement with that. And so it was just a whole transition of what God did. He waited until I got to that place where I was ready. But the beautiful thing is John didn't have to share it. He didn't have to share, ministry with me. He didn't have to encourage me. He could have continued to just say, you know what, I'm going to do this myself. But because he has a passion to help the one, to help the many, then he's helped me in ministry the whole time. And I think that's pretty cool.
So would you say?
I was going to say that's pretty important.
Yeah.
Sorry, Angee. I was saying it's pretty important, the fact that he listened, it was an obedient, and you were willing to receive, because we know we're not perfect. And a lot of times when a person is not, the way I put it is not elevated, but seems to be on a different level, all the enemy attacks, the jealousy, the enviousness, and all those different type of things take place that could have broke you apart. But he knew that God was speaking to him, and you didn't come in right away, but over the course of time, the message was for you as well. And the fact that both of you were open to receive it, that's what people need to understand, to know when you pray for certain things, be willing to listen to the voice of God, because there's a lot of other voices, people, the enemy, that get in your ear. Well, why does he have to be in that position and I'm over here? As opposed to God is doing what he's doing for him. And when my time comes, God will let me know of where I fit in to his plan.
And and that's a good point, because anytime Sandra and I, even when I served in my roles, we always served together. And it's never been me doing my thing and she's watching and helping. No, she always would come in and fill in where I was lacking, because I'm always lacking. That's why I need somebody to complete me. See?
Well,
and so whatever role that we played, in fact, from the very beginning, now check this out. When she was first born again and began to walk with God, we would go out, and I've been going out street preaching for many years. But I would go out in basketball courts, and I would leave the ball to come over to me, and then I hold the ball and preach, and then give it back to him when I get done preaching. so she said, I want to go with you. And, we were just dating then. No, we weren't even dating. We were just beginning to be aware of each other. And she says, I'd like to go, but I'm not going to say anything. I said, that's fine. So I went out and we went to this basketball court on Vine Street in Cincinnati. And sure enough, the ball came over and I started preaching the word. And after I got done preaching the word, I gave them back the ball, and I was leaving, and Sandra stepped right in and started filling up the rest. by sharing the rest of what God wanted to say. And so we started from the very beginning of just filling in with each other. And that's how we operate. So it's not about me doing something, she watching. No, she's always been involved with me. And that's how we do it.
What were you going to say, Sandra?
I was going to say, the Bible talks about the two shall become one.
Okay.
Wives, he saw that Adam was alone. He says, I'm going to make you a helper. I'm going to make you a helpmate. Wives, we are helpers of the vision that God has put into our husbands. And so it doesn't mean we all have to be preaching or doing something strong, but what we should be doing always is finding a way to be a support. Because if your husband is doing his thing and you're doing your thing, when do you two come together? When is that unity built? When is that wholeness coming together? Otherwise, he's going to build his work or what he's doing, his business, and she's going to do hers, and you're going to separate. So we should, as a couple, always find a way to complement one another, not compete.
Right.
Well said.
And that's so. I mean, well said, and that's so true for a lot of couples that are going through that, because you guys were very blessed to grow up in your ministries. But what do you say to the couples that are not in ministry, but they're trying to find ways of having that cohesiveness with one another? It may not be ministry, it may be something else. But what is the best? Because they have their job here, he has his job there. What are some of the things that you can tell even a young couple or a couple that's been together? Where can they find that common bond?
I can start here, Sam, just fill in. So ministry or business is an overflow of the relationship that you have with each other. So it's building an intimate relationship with each other. And I'm not talking about sexual intimacy, although that's a part. I'm talking about connecting, loving one another, developing a plan. Sandra and I help couples build marriage plans. So what can we accomplish? What does God call us to do? What's the vision? What's the mission? What's our strategy? And just like you would do a business, we actually build a marriage plan, and then we build around that. We support each other in whatever those things are. And whether it's Sandra wants to pursue a higher education, which she's doing right now, so I'm partnering with her to help her do that. There are things that I want to do. I'm talking about outside. It's not about me. It's about us working together as one. And anything we do, whether it's a business or a ministry, it overflows into that. And that's the key.
Go ahead.
Do you want to add something to that?
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. I saw somebody else move. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, it always starts with loving God, loving yourself, and loving each other. And prayer is the foundation. Prayer is always going to be the foundation. Always the foundation. So, first of all, the intimacy with God has to be there. Otherwise, we're all going to fail. So, if it's a business and your husband or your spouse has a business, and you are a homemaker, or you working, you're doing something different. John said we believe in a marriage plan. We watch God do miracles in the marriage plan. When we set our plan out once a year, and we pray, we write it out, and we pray over the areas that is important to us. And I promise you, in 365 days, we see God answer prayer. So first of all, you need to know where you're going, whether or not it's business, whether or not it's whatever you're doing. And you need to find out what you're trying to do, and you need to find out what you need to do so you can do it together. But it starts with prayer, and it starts with knowing where you're going and what you're trying to accomplish and being in agreement. And if you don't have agreement, because there's a lot of projects my husband started out in years ago, decades ago, and he would come home and he'd say, oh, I found this new business. Oh, I'm so excited. And and I'm like, oh, no, this is not going to work for me. Because he had the vision and he was passionate, but I knew enough to say, honey, I believe in you. I support you. you do your business, but I'm going to support you. I need you to know I'm going to support you. And I think what couples need is even if you can't agree 100%, you can at least be in agreement to support your spouse and support them through prayer, words of encouragement, words of edification. What can you do to lift the burden? So, it's always going to be, what can you do to be a support? Okay, you don't have to do what they're doing, but you can support it, and you can definitely support it in prayer.
Awesome. No, and that's what perfect explanation, Sandra, because I think what a lot of people needed to hear, especially hearing from you guys who've been married 41 years and have found the way to do it together, whether you are not doing something together, but the main thing that you said was support one another, and the support can even be in words, definitely in prayer, but sometimes your spouse just need to hear you say, "Good job, honey," even if you don't know that, what they are doing exactly. But, I'll give an example of what I do with my husband. He's a musician. Now, I cannot play a note. He is an accomplished musician, and I am just amazed at some of the things that he can come up with. But that's one of the things that actually drew me to him, because of his work in music and how he is very talented in music. But I can't do that with him. But I can actually be a person that enjoy him, like you said, John. Be his number one fan. Absolutely. His number one fan first. I mean, he has other fans, but if the wife is not the number one fan, I think that's where, I see you, Mr. Scribe. I think that's where, some of the couples can kind of go to the left. I really do believe, like you said, John, the number one fan that should be there is your spouse.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Sandra, so in 2014, I was looking at the Christian Business Men's Connection.
Okay.
Not the Christian business person, the Christian Business Men's Connection. Okay. Yes. The organization been around for 90 years. And we were looking at it, and they were looking for somebody to get things restarted here in Atlanta. And Sandra and I went down to a vacation out in Orlando. When we were there, we went to their World Convention. And actually, she stayed at home and stayed in the resort, and I went to check out the meeting. And when I got back, I said, Sandra, this is how I said it. Sandra, I believe the Lord is calling us to get involved in this. Okay? Now, this is a Christian Business Men's Connection. Okay? So what she began to do, she took herself and found a couple of her friends, and they prayed for the ministry two to three times a week for 2 years.
Wow.
Now people see the explosion of our ministry here, Christian Business Men's Connection.
Yes.
But what they don't realize is Sandra laid this prayer foundation of that ministry for 2 years. Now I have a group of men that are praying 5 days a week for the last 4 years, but she laid the foundation. Now, about a year ago, she has launched the Christian Business Women's Connection, of which I'm with her, just saying, go ahead, make it happen, and I'm in there. So again, it's all about understanding how to fill in those gaps, how to encourage one another. You see, if you make a person feel good about themselves when they're around you, they'll want to be around you more. But if a spouse is criticizing and critical and fault finding and everything's wrong, they're going to find ways to stay away from you. They'll get involved in their kids, their ministry, their church, their whatever, but they're going to find ways because you don't make them feel good about themselves. It's my job to make my woman feel good about herself when she's with me.
I want to add to
that. Right there, that's a serious nugget. Go ahead.
I want to add to that because sometimes over the years and decades, my husband, because we're always, we're in ministry, so we want to generate income, extra income. And he would come home with different ideals. And right away, I knew right away. I'm like, ooh, that's going to be kind of a lot of work. Ooh, I don't know if that's going to really be the thing we need to do. But I would never say that to him. That's why I would always say, I'm going to support you.
Okay.
I can't do the business, but I'll support you. So what happens in marriages, women, we are very smart. We're very intuitive. We can actually see a lot of stuff. We can see something and we can say, that is not going to work. But the question you need to ask yourself, we need to count the cost.
Okay.
So is it worth you shooting down the ideal? And I thought about it. I says, okay, how much money is this going to cost start up? How much is it going to cost us? How long it's going to take us to get the money? And I says, you know what? It's okay. If we're going to lose some money in this. And even if we do, I need to support the vision. Just because we can see things that's not going to work, isn't the time that we tell our husbands or tell our spouses, that's not going to work. Oh my God, that's terrible. Sorry about that. And just really, we're supposed to be more of a support. We're not supposed to be the answer man. We're supposed to be the support man, the support woman. And just because you might see it a different way, you need to support your person, your spouse in any way that you possibly can, as long as it's not going to break the bank. Okay, you're not going to go under. Okay, you're not going to take all your money. You need to pay your monthly bills, or you need to pay things, and you're using all that. But as long as it's not going to be hard, you need to be a support, and you need to step out into it, and you'll learn every time you step out into an adventure. You're going to learn something. So that's a great way to support. And so my husband always remembers the things I supported him with, even when I didn't really agree or believe in it. I just said, you know what, I'm not doing this. I'm going to support you. And I would give 100%. And the funny thing about the CBMC, Christian Business Men's Connection, my friends and I, we prayed, and we prayed down in heaven for 2 years. And then when we would have conferences, I would be the one, John and I would be the one going there setting things up. So we had one conference one time. All these men came in, and every time I went to do something, they had it. And I actually stood there and said, they don't need me. And I realized I prayed myself out of a job.
Hold that thought, you guys. We got to go to break. When we come back, just surprise, hold your thought, come back with your thought once we are done with this break. Listen, everyone, you are watching Level Up, real talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the B. We will be right back.
You and I have to let the man know is we are peaceful people. We are loving people. We love everybody who loves us. But we don't love anybody who doesn't love us. We're nonviolent with people who are nonviolent with us. But we are not nonviolent with anyone who is violent with us.
History, life in quarantine. Nowhere to hide, it's worldwide. We can agree to disagree, but it don't matter now. This is life. We can chill face to face and debate what is fact and what has been a lie. And go hard with the truth, yet be brutalized. When it's all said and done, what we have and what we want won't bring back alive. All we really need to do is hang on and speak life.
To bring about the complete independence of people of African descent here in the Western Hemisphere, and first here in the United States, and bring about the freedom of these people by any means necessary.
In every way, let the people see, let them see, and make sure you know you're right. Oh, when you speak, don't believe, no, this is your defeat. Don't incriminate your mind.
suffer peacefully. Pray for those who use you despitefully. Be long-suffering. And how long can you suffer after suffering for 400 years?
In every way, let the people see, let them see, and make sure you know you're right, when you speak.
I felt like no matter how hard you tried, things just still go wrong.
Many times.
What do you do?
I let go and let God.
All I'm asking from you is to bump up our credit limit to where it was.
It's declined.
We're experiencing some financial hardships at the moment.
You have 6 days to make payment.
I can't believe this is happening.
You know, I never asked you to pray with me.
It's you and me. We got this.
God wants to help you, Peter.
Excuse me?
But you're not letting him in.
I did once. Last time we spoke, you took a man away from me I loved dearly. From that day, I swore to take matters into my own hands. But now I don't know what to do.
I know that you don't believe, but I will pray for you.
I love you so much.
Capimo.
It was a miracle. You believe in miracles?
Listen, if you need me, you call me.
All of the angels in heaven are rejoicing. You gotta know that everything is gonna be okay.
Hello, my name is Rodney Damon Colllins. I'm an actor, producer, author, and speaker. I'm excited to share my first book entitled Shattered: A Journey Through the Pieces. I wrote this book because there are millions of people like me in this world who are searching for purpose while navigating emotional distress. This book is for anyone who wants to be the producer of their own life. The reader will be encouraged to know that if they, 1, keep God first, 2, learn how to make peace with the pieces in our lives, and finally, 3, never deterred from your dreams, that you will see your purpose fulfilled. I love you, and go grab this book on Amazon.com, Shattered: A Journey Through the Pieces.
Hey, this is Nolan Holloway, aka Mr. Scribe. Just letting you know that I have 3 books of poetry that's available on Amazon.com. So when you get a chance, go to Amazon.com, look up Nolan P. Holloway Jr., not Mr. Scribe, and pick up one of my books for your enjoyment. Peace.
What you want, baby, I got it. What you need, you know I got it. All I'm asking is for a little respect when you get home. Hey, baby, when you come home, darling, I'm every woman. It's all in me. I can read your thoughts right now. Everyone from A to Z.
Unveiled Treasures Bookstore. We offer a variety of items.
church supplies, homeschool resources, music, books, and gifts. Our free ministry partners online affiliate program provides a collection of Christian resources. Unveiled treasures, exquisite jewels to enrich your soul.
It's your girl, Dr. Monique Frazier, owner of Prestige Decor and More. Let's level up on Sundays, 3 to 6 p.m. Ordinary people with extraordinary stories.
Hey guys, Vibe with Mr. Scribe on Level Up.
You're listening to Level Up with Dr. Deb Armstrong.
This is Allison Feliciano. Listen or watch Level Up each and every Sunday from 3 to 6 p.m. Keep it locked right here.
And welcome back to Level Up, real talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the B. Welcome, 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 everyone. And thank you guys for hanging out with us this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Hey, everyone who is on Facebook, we want you guys to migrate on over to our YouTube page. Yes, we do have a YouTube page, and we are simulcast on YouTube as well. But I want you guys to know that very, very soon that we will be broadcasting live only on YouTube. So in the coming weeks, we're going to give you guys the opportunity to find us on YouTube at The Real Level Up. Yes, that's The Real Level Up on YouTube. All right, let's get right back into our conversation and who we have in our studio by way of Blue Jeans, because what we're going to continue to do, we will be COVID compliant. I forgot to say that earlier. COVID compliant. So everyone is in their personal studios and we are being very, very safe with one another. In fact, Mr. Scribe, would you say that we really like this way of interviewing? You know, everybody's safe in their home.
Yeah, I do. But the only thing with that is I've been accused, John and Sandra, of being on the broadcast on my couch.
Well, yeah.
Somebody mentioned like, oh, when we first started broadcasting virtually, it's like, oh, and where's Mr. Scribe? Oh, I think he's laying on the couch. And as you can see, I'm sitting at my laptop and I'm very engaged in the conversation. But according to my host, I was lounging around, not paying attention and all of that. But yeah, with this, things to be able to adjust and to be flexible and the times that we're living in, God gave us wisdom. Yeah. And in our wisdom, we pivoted, hey, and this is even a better way because our guests can be anywhere. Whereas before, you would have to be local to Atlanta. Hey, John, can you come to the studio? And it was only if you was in Atlanta that you could come to the studio. If you was in New York or on the West Coast or overseas, couldn't have an interview. But this way, we can far reach, and that's just the goodness of what God does in his infinite wisdom to give us the technology to be able to share. And look how many guys, who knows how many people you guys are touching with the wisdom that you're giving today. Absolutely. And I want to put out there, Angee, and then I'll bring it back to you. Couples that are listening, listen to what they're saying in reference to relationships. We know what the relationship, according to the world, should be. Looks, getting together, doing intimate things, the other side of intimacy, not what God intended for it to be, but to have communications, even when you disagree. That's the point that I like, that love that they brought up. She felt, well, you know, this might not be a good idea, but it's not the right time to say it. That's wisdom.
That's
and
wisdom.
I know, you know, Angee, and I know I'm a writer. I write poetry. And when I met my wife, I was writing before I met her. She supports me. She encourages me. That gives me the impetus to keep moving forward. There have been times where I had writer's block and didn't want to write anymore, but she's like, well, have you written anything lately? What? Just that little spark. People don't understand. Sometimes it's the little things, that little saying that can take you over the top. So thank you for bringing that point up. And I just didn't want to let it go by because it's very important. It's extremely important, especially in relationships.
Yeah. Yeah, and I hope everyone is taking note to that. Let me just give some shout outs to some people who are, listening to the broadcast and even sharing this broadcast, because it's very important, you guys. I love having these conversations, and John and Sandra is really the reason why we did ask you guys to come on to share the wisdom that you have, to help some of these marriages that are kind of on the rocks. COVID wasn't nice to a lot of relationships. People had the opportunity to really be with one another, because we couldn't go anywhere. Stop you, Mr. Scrub. So there are a lot of couples that didn't make it through, and then there are some that are just, kind of hanging on a thread right now. But perhaps, the words that you guys are giving us today, that people can kind of reconsider, have a change of heart. And the number one thing you said today, Sandra, I'm not going to get off of this point that you said prayer changes things. It does. And I know sometimes we can say that as a cliche, but it really, really is something that we can use to turn some things around, even in our marriages.
I don't know if you know this, but Sandra and I wrote a book here. It's called Marriage Equity, and it's a 52-week devotional. So this is all about establishing a prayer life and praying over particular issues.
Okay.
We found about 12 issues, and then we broke that into about 52 areas.
Okay.
But we found about 12 issues that couples, and that came through our pastoring. When we were pastoring the church, we would have a lot of crisis counseling in the beginning, and it was a lot of stress and that kind of thing. And so we began to do marriage checkups. So just like a doctor would call,
yes,
we would call couples in and start asking questions. And as we began to ask questions, we began to find there seemed to be some areas that were categories that came up. We found about 12 of those categories. And we began to teach them how to do checkups. And by doing a checkup, you think about it, when you go to a doctor, you do a checkup not because there's something wrong necessarily. You do it to, number one, ensure you're doing the right thing, but if there's some early detection, early issues, you can get those things early. And most people, when they try to begin to deal with the problem, it's when it's gotten really, really big. But if you're having a problem with communication or in-laws or money issues or sexual issues or emotional problems or social media, now we've had to add that to it, and you're having these problems and they're a problem in the marriage, you can find out what they are, find out what level of, Sandra and I call it the threat level, what threat level it is, and then we teach couples how to develop a strategy on how to address those issues. But prayer is the foundation of that. We show them how to pray over it and how to begin from prayer. Now as you're praying, God will begin to give you clear steps on what to do as a result of what you pray.
Right. And I want to ask you this, very, very important. What is you all's take? I know we should have our own prayer life, but what are you all's take about the couples coming together to pray and pray on a regular basis? What is you all's take on that? I'll start with Sandra.
Well, it all depends upon what the need is in your marriage and your family.
Okay.
If you have crises, issues in your family and your marriage, then that's when you need to come together and pray on a regular basis. But it doesn't mean you can't take time alone after that and pray yourself. So it's going to depend on what is the need in your family. There may come times, John and I, we do it based upon seasons in our life, based upon what do we need right now. And if we have something that's a high priority, maybe healing, or if we're working on our business, we'll come together and we'll pray for a season until we get, we break the stronghold of that. So it's not a concrete, this is the way you do it. It's whatever you believe the Spirit of God is speaking to you about prayer. You have to have your own prayer time, and then there are times when you need to come together and pray. Now, right now, we pray every Monday Every money we have set aside. And I would say that's a PM prayer, preventive maintenance, where John and I come together on Monday for several hours and we fast and pray for 4 or 5 hours. And sometimes, he'll kind of go and extend it the rest of the day. But we're praying about different areas of our life. So sometimes you need to do that. You have seasons where, listen, we need to pray for this. Or you have children that are not doing what they need to do, teenagers, or you have a lot of calamity going on in your life or sickness. That's when you need to come together, when you have really hard things going on. But once again, you can talk to God throughout the day. There's not one set time you can talk to God.
That's true.
Yeah, I was laid off from my job in Tulsa. I worked in the computer field, and they made a bad decision and lost a lot of money, so they laid me off, because of their decision. And so at that time, we were trying to figure out, what does the Lord want us to do? Do I now need to just go ahead and is he telling me to go in the ministry full time here or whatever? So Sandra and I, every day, we would pray for 2 hours in the morning. And then at that time, he was leading me to continue to look for a job. So we would pray 2 hours in the morning, and then I go and look for a job. And then I go look for a job. Well, here's what happened. The company ended up calling me back. They fired the other person that was there.
Oh.
And then they gave me the salary I had, plus his salary.
Whoa.
Plus $1,000 to catch up on the months that I was, off. So it was just a supernatural move of God. But had we not sought the Lord and prayed together for those 2 hours every single day, it wasn't easy. But God, we had a breakthrough, and that's what we've learned over the years. We've learned that you got to have most people have reactive prayers.
Okay.
But we found that you want to pray proactively. What do you want to see happen? Begin to pray that, and as a result, you can build spiritual momentum in your life instead of negative momentum that happens so often in people's lives.
Also, I want to say, Angee, you mentioned about the couples during COVID. They're very fragile. Some couples are very fragile. There are a lot of people that have separated during this time. But I believe if you're married, you know the condition of your marriage. If you're getting along, if you have unity, if it's strong, you know where the areas are weak. Now, why aren't you taking the time, or why don't you take the time now during a crisis of the pandemic and set that time aside and pray for your marriage, pray for your family together, pray for the direction God has you, pray for the areas that you're struggling in. And I also want to add to this. I think that we have to roll our sleeves up and we have to do the work.
Okay.
It's not going to go away.
Right.
And it's not going to be easy, but you have to invest the work that you need. You got to invest the time that you need in order to get the victory in whatever stressing your marriage out. You can't just say, oh, I'm just going through so much. Or you can't pray to the Father, Lord, help me, my marriage, my spouse is doing this and that. And the rest of the day, you're talking to your mother, you're talking to your friends, you're talking the problem, you're talking it up big, you're talking it up bigger than your prayers. And every time we do that, we just undo our prayers.
Wow.
So I think we need to be willing to invest. I was thinking about this today. We invest in a house and we make repairs on the house. We want to keep that house going, looking good, because we want equity. We buy a car. How many people do we know that go out there and buy? We call them hooties. Well, it's got you can see the floor. It's all broken. It's almost dilapidated. Nobody's buying that kind of car. We're buying the car that we can we're investing in the car that's going to get us what we need. And we do the maintenance on that car. And when that, like a car, after it gets old, we turn it in. And that's what's happening in marriages. We are not supposed to turn in our spouses when they get old and things are happening to it. We need to continue to make the investment in our spouses so that we'll be more glorified as we go forward. I didn't say that. Okay.
Help us out, Sandra. Look, help us out. I'm 24, 25 years in, and you guys.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And like you said, it hasn't been all Peachy King and Roses. I will say this. I'll only share as much as he will allow me to share. But, when we had our rough times, what I am thankful for during our rough times, that's when I noticed that he and I were drawing closer during the rough times.
Yes.
So once again, here we are going through the pandemic, and yes, it hit our business. It did. But what I am thankful for is having a husband who did not give up, who did not run away from the hard times. Because, let's talk about the big elephant in the room. There are some people that can't handle the hard times. And what do you say, to that husband or the wife? Because it's not always, the wife that hangs in during the hard times. I've seen men that did the same thing, and the wife was ready to go. What do you say to the ones that are just still trying to, hang on and just want to have that one spouse to, not run away from it, but what do you say? I mean, you know what I mean?
So here's what I would say. If you have this pain in your tooth and it's swelling, all right? You don't go to your spouse and ask him to fix that for you. Because y'all can because he a man or she a woman and he can handle it. We can handle it. No. You go find a dentist. Okay.
Go find a doctor.
You go get the help that you need.
Okay.
So the same is true. So it's interesting because the marriage seems to be the only area that people really don't want to get help in. They'll go to the doctor. They'll go to the dentist. Even Angee, even Sandra and I have a marriage checkup. It's nothing but an online checkup where you can actually do a checkup on your marriage. You'd be surprised how many people won't do the marriage checkup. The first thing I'll say, my marriage is good. Everything's good with me. And yet we get dental checkups, get health checkups, get financial checkups. But it's something about marriage that people don't want to get help. So the first thing I would say is realize.
I think, John, they don't want to change.
Oh, wow. Well, okay, Sandra, let me go a little deeper with that one, though. Sometimes they don't want things to be exposed because I'm going to tell you one thing. I'll talk about me. Marriage for me exposed a whole lot more things than I could ever imagine. Because I thought I was a good Christian. I'm a good Christian. I'm a good Christian woman. But once my husband said Jesus is Lord, once he did that, it wasn't anything that he said to me, but it helped me to understand that I'm not so much that Proverbs 31 wife that I thought of.
Yeah.
Ooh, Sandra.
Some of that praying, the language changed, but it wasn't the Holy Spirit.
Well, see, and really what this reveals to all of us is humility. You've gotta, it's okay that you don't have all the answers. It's okay. Find someone that can help you. One of the things we offer is a marriage checkup. You just type checkup.marriageequitysystems with the S.com. Checkup.marriageequitysystems.com. Do a marriage checkup. And just start there.
Start there.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate you guys, just helping those because, like I said, the big elephant in the room is what has the other side that has happened in the pandemic. Some people were able to pivot, but there are some people that were just, they found out from one another. They found out that, like myself, but and even during the pandemic, I still found out some things that I needed to brush up on. I am, and still am. I was the wife that was going, always on the go. This pandemic slowed me down. And I don't mind being honest about this. I got the virus. And let me tell you what receiving the virus, when you were quarantined for 14 days and I end up being 3 weeks, because it lingered for me. But it helped me to understand that I don't have to always go out to find out what I need to do, first as a woman of God, second as Torrance Scott's wife. served as Eric and Torrance Jr.'s mother. And then everything else falls into place. It helped me to realign what was supposed to be important to me in my life and being that Proverbs 31 woman, because I was so much paying attention to what was outside of my house that I neglected a lot of things that was inside of the house. And that thing put me inside my house for 3 weeks, and I saw a whole lot more about myself. I could sit here and say, oh my gosh, because I did see that too, Sandra. Oh my gosh, this house is a mess. But who does that fall on? I can't say that, that the house is a mess because the kids keep the house a mess. No, Angee, there's some things that what I end up doing though, I end up retraining my 2 sons on how to take care of the house. Yeah. And my husband and I really found some things that changed within the character of our 2 sons and helping them to understand how do you take care of a house. It was amazing.
Crisis simply amplifies whatever's going on. That's
good point. Good point. Yeah, I really appreciate it. Well, listen, you guys, we're going to go ahead and take another break. But before we do, there's a couple of things I want to do. I want to give out to some shout outs to some people that are on our Facebook page. Thank you guys. Sandra and John, these are people that are always here. Thank you, Mr. Scribe. Mary Goolsby, thank you for just saying good afternoon to us. She had a whole lot of things that she had said beyond that. You guys, she's one of our top fans. She got the diamond, Mr. Scribe. She got a diamond. Also, my mother is on. Miss Winifred Smiley, thank you for joining us. And she's just saying hello to everyone. Martina Hesbeth, Doug Simpson, Grace Hindy, all you guys, thank you so much. There's so much more people that are on. Look who has come on the scene. It's the Colllins. So what you guys don't want to miss, you don't want to miss our second couple that's coming on the scene, you guys. Thank you guys for coming on. And we are going to take our break. When we come back, we're going to talk to both couples, you guys. You don't want to miss this. On top of that, what's that?
You got some shout outs, Angee. You missed a couple of people, and I don't want to get no more demerits. So when we come back from break, we'll start with them. The Colllins is in the house. My brother's in the house, so we good to go.
All right, you're listening and watching Level Up, Real Talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the B. We'll be right back.
I am protected. You can't touch me. I'm resurrected. You can't crush me. I'm taking my time now. You can't rush me. I'm in this bubble. You can't bust me. Oh, I'm protected. You can't touch me. I'm resurrected. You can't crush me. I'm taking my time. No, you can't rush me. I'm in this bubble. You can't bust me. Oh, spinning round like a carousel. Never sick, still looking well. He helped me win on the battlefield. I tell the truth like a tattletale, and I'm out of jail like I'm out on bail. And I don't feel like I don't tell the whole truth. Without Christ, it's like a ship without a sail. Look, back in the day, lacking away, I just happened to pray after the day. He just happened to say he loves me, defeating my enemies like an animal, attacking the prey. They say he evil. Jesus, he just wanna save people. Ain't no way we gonna stay equal. Grab your wings and soar with the eagles. Protected by the shield and by the sword. Every blessing that you got comes by the Lord. He got keys to the gates and keys to death and hell. In the grave he'll set you free like you was a slave. You'll run real fast like you was the I am protected. You can't touch me. I'm resurrected. You can't crush me. I'm taking my time now. You can't rush me. I'm in this bubble. You can't bust me. Oh, I'm protected. You can't touch me. I'm resurrected. You can't crush me. I'm taking my time. No, you can't rush me. I'm in this bubble. You can't bust me. Oh, I'm protected in this bubble like bubble wrap. He's knocking on the door of your heart like double tap. Praise him twice, double clap. He just set up a double trap. The enemy fell in and God chopped him with his double axe. Facts, all of the chains he is breaking it. Satan's kingdom he is shaking it. All this evil I am forsaking making it. The kingdom of heaven, I'm making it. Made in Satan, hating, blessings. You know I'm gon' rake in. They ain't going nowhere, they all staying. If you wonder where I'm at, I'm gon' face in. It's water. Oh yes, no stress, and He will bless you. Holiness, holiness, I roll with the Lord, ain't no loneliness. Only this power of God, I am holding it. Taking my freedom back, I am not lonely yet, I am protected. You can't touch me, I'm resurrected. You can't crush me, I'm taking my time now. You can't rush me, I'm in this bubble. You can't bust me, oh I'm protected. You can't touch me, I'm resurrected. You can't crush me, I'm taking my time, no, you can't rush me. I'm in this bubble, you can't bust me, oh I'm protected.
Have you been sluggish, bloated, overweight? You could be toxic from your environment, food, and medications. It's time for a clean start. Come by or book online today.
Introducing Rain Premium Sanitary Napkin. Rain has an innovative design that is made with a strip infused with Nobel Prize-winning material, graphene. The infused graphene strip may provide various health benefits that potentially help relieve painful abdominal cramps, help balance the body's pH, help eliminate harmful bacteria, help with aroma, help fight fatigue, boost metabolism, boost immune system. Graphene moves heat away from your core and contains vibrational energy. In this test, we will add water to the graphene strip and then place a 7-watt light bulb onto the strip to demonstrate the level of energy contained. These medical claims have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. All results may vary. Protect the most precious jewel in the world, you. For more information, contact the person who referred you to this video. Rain is exclusively designed by Jewel Sanitary Napkins,
Guardian
LLC.
Collection men's and women's wear has statement pieces or full head-to-toe custom design. It's the personal styling service customized to your fit, lifestyle, and budget. I am Marion Boyd, CEO and your designer guide for success. Contact me at 770-402-0730 Eastern Standard Time from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. only. I'm on Facebook at Marion G. Boyd or Instagram at Marion_Collection1. Get in, my people, where you fit.
It's been long enough that you've been walking around in the wilderness trying to figure out, who am I? Why am I here? What gifts do I have to make a difference? Well, it's time to warm it up. Discover your true identity. Unleash your gifts and impact the world to become a more bolder, braver, and courageous you. Join me, Kathy Hood, at a life-changing workshop, Woman Up, the journey of owning your power and unleashing your true self.
It's your girl, Minister April Aland Sitmanat, the spiritual soldier. And let's level up on Sundays from 3 to 6 p.m.
Hey, this is Constance. Level Up. Check them out every Sunday from 3 to 6 p.m.
Hey guys, it's your girl V Speak Life, reminding you to speak life, not strife. Right now, I want you to get inspired with Level Up, real talk that takes you higher. Sundays from 3 to 6 p.m. on.
My name is Jay Hagler of Diving with a Purpose. Level Up each and every Sunday from 3 to 6 p.m. Don't touch that dial.
And welcome back to Level Up, real talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the D. Welcome everyone. And thank you guys for hanging out with us this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Hey, if you are on Facebook, I want you guys to know that we are doing a simulcast on YouTube as well. You guys can head on over to our YouTube channel and please hit that subscribe button. In the weeks to come, Level Up will be on YouTube only. So we are giving you guys a few weeks to migrate over to YouTube because that's where it's all about, you guys. So who we have in the studio? Welcome. The Colllins are in the studio. How you doing?
Before you get started, Miss Angee, remember I said before the break, there was two people I got to acknowledge that's on the show. My other half, Linda Furline Holloway, is watching, and one of our fans, Valerica Cardi's also watching. Back to you.
Okay. Y'all know what he's trying to do, y'all. The other half, yeah, he had to do that. So anyway.
Well, we have couples on, right? So I have to let folks know that my wife is watching. Torrance is probably watching as well. So we got to put it out there.
Hey, this is nothing but a couple thing right here. But in the studio once again, thank you guys for coming in. You guys are all the way from sunny California. Is that right?
Yes, we are. Yeah, we're unmuted now. You can hear us, right?
I can hear you now.
Okay, cool. Okay. Yes, we are.
So we were just saying, because of this pandemic, we have been blessed, you guys, to actually have so many people to, chime in on our conversations from around the country and very, very soon around the world. Don't ask me how it's going to do because that's beyond my scope. But anyway, so we are so thankful that you guys are just taking some time out to talk about you all's union, your marriage. But before we do, I just want to make sure that everyone listen for the Poseys who have, just been giving. I don't know if you guys have been sitting there watching. I'm taking notes. You got Colllins. I've been taking notes. Okay. They have laid out some stuff for. I know, Mr. Scribe. I see your pen. But they have laid out some stuff for those of us. I'm 25 years in. How long you guys been married?
25.
I thought we were kind of at the same. Y'all you hear that? John and Sandra, 25. So you guys got a little bit. Just give us a little bit more insight, Poseys, on first of all, for some of us who are just at a quarter of a century. I think, Mr. Scribe, you guys are at 7. Is it 7 now? Oh, what? Look. It seems like it's 7 years. It seems like.
Oh, simply because of the fact that this is my second go around. The first time it was 22 years, but life happens, things change, and I've been with Linda. It'll be our 4th anniversary this August.
All right.
Wow. Well, look, and then you guys are making it through the pandemic because I don't think you've been going anywhere, right, Mr. Scribe?
And I've been at the house. She's been locked down since February. I've been here since April, and we be in the house. But our workstations are in 2 different parts of the house because I have to have the television going while I'm working. Her position, she has to be on the phone. So she's in the office area. I'm in the outside area, so I can watch my ESPN while I'm on my keyboard working. Because I'm not on the phone. I'm not on the phone that much. That's just how I go.
Well, Sandra and John. So, just for your words of wisdom, what can you guys impart to us now that we have you have 2 couples now? They're 25 years in, and I'm looking for another 25.
Yeah, I always say, when you're 20 plus years into marriage, I always say, then I want to hear what you have to say. Anything beneath it, I don't want to hear nothing. But
so be quiet, Mr. Scribe. Be quiet.
No. So congratulations. First of all, congratulations, because really it's that second decade. Something I found is that it takes about a decade for the real issues to begin to really show up. And that's why you'll find a lot of couples end up getting divorced when their kids are teenagers, because that's that second decade, see. And I've studied this quite diligently. And so the key is you have to, the term that Sandra and I use, we use the term marriage equity because we say your marriage is either a house or a car. So if your car, it depreciates when it leaves the lot. Yeah. So really, you're the best that you were when you got married. But as you drive the marriage, then the value of one another begins to go down, and that's why you trade them in after you're down to the bottom. Wow. So that's the reality. But if your marriage is a house, then what happens? Your marriage appreciates in value. So the longer you're married, the more valuable your marriage is, the more equity you have in your marriage. And that's not automatic. It's systematic. It's something you've got to do. Sandra and I call it marriage equity. Having marriage equity, applying marriage equity on a weekly basis to your marriage. So we find that you have to be very, very intentional. Like for instance, Sandra and I have a date day every Friday, the whole day.
Look at her. Go ahead, Sandra. Do your dance, girl.
Now, a lot of my business guys they still don't know how to do that because I work very hard throughout the week. But I shut everything down on Friday, phones off, emails off, and even my mother. When my mother was alive, she says, "I'm your mama. I can call you on any day that I want to call you." I said, "Mama, you may call me on Friday, but I'm not answering the phone." When I was a pastor, I would tell my members that if you die, call me. At that time it was Monday. If you die, call me Tuesday. I'm not available on Monday. Okay. No. So just one, and I'll have Sandra share real quick. So this Friday, which is a couple of days ago. This is Sunday. So last Friday, so I had started a special little plan where I was eating only certain kinds of foods, and I had some things I was doing. So Sandra thought that we weren't going to go out on our little breakfast in the morning. Oh. She thought, and I said, why in the world would I not go out on breakfast and spend some time with you? I know how important that is to you. So we went out early in the morning. Sometimes I'll cook a breakfast, bring breakfast in bed. Sometimes we'll go out and eat, but that's what we did. And it was a great time. So you got to invest in your marriage. Sandra, you got anything else to say about that, baby?
Well, I wanted to say, let me share one of the reasons why John started doing the date day. We were pastors. We started our church from scratch. We went door to door, corner to corner, just reaching out to people. So the people we came were really broken. Okay. Really, it's not any different today. They were hurting. They were in difficult marriages. Some were demon possessed. Some were sick. Some were mentally ill, not to the degree where they couldn't function, but they were mentally ill. And so, while we were in ministry, growing and learning, because we're learning as we go how to pastor. There isn't a book out here that tells you how to pastor 101. You got to learn it on your own, okay? And it was a new work. And so what was happening, the oppression, there was so much oppression and attacks towards me in the ministry, because I actually also started preaching back in the day where it wasn't popular for pastors to be female. Okay. So I'm dealing with all this. Women can't preach in the church, and why you're preaching. So I'm dealing with all that. Plus, but yet I want to help people, and everybody's rejecting all this. And so I was beginning to get totally stressed out. I'm like, oh, I can't take it. So my husband shut everything down. He said, if you aren't going forth, we're not going forth. He said, I'm not doing anything until we can figure this out and do it together. And I'll never forget, he took 2 weeks. He took 2 weeks. Starting in the morning, we would go on a walk. He said, what do you want to do, honey? We're going to do whatever you want. I'm like, oh, shoot now. So we would take walks, and we would, just relax and just do things. We would minister to me, and I would minister to him. I don't know. I would half crying. And so he said, unless we go together, we're not going at all. There's no reason for me to try to move forward in ministry. I'm taking my wife with me. So we're going to find out what we need to do it. So he incorporated this day where we're able to spend time. We have to take time to spend time with each other, not with the children, not with a family, not with church members, not with emergencies. That's why you have to train people to do that. But you have to have individual time. You have to cherish that time. You have to protect that time. And you have to appreciate that time and incorporate it. You can't say, I can't do it. No, you better do it. Wow. Because everybody needs to have ministry to one another. And the last thing I want to say about I can't get away from the pandemic. What the pandemic has done, it has exposed everybody's issues. That everybody's tucked all their issues under the rugs. John always says, we found out in ministry that when people have been married 15, 20, 30 years, they've actually been married 1 year 30 times.
Wow.
Because they keep reliving that year after year. So when we get to 20, am I correct, John?
Absolutely, yes, ma'am.
When we get to that 20-year mark, you explode. You're building a bomb with all that negativity. Every year, it's the same issue. Every year, it's the same problem. Every year, we're not working this out, but you stay together. Just because you've been together in a house for 30 years doesn't mean you're together. It means you live in the same house. Doesn't mean your life and your marriage is moving forward. So what happens is it explodes. You get to a place where you can't take it anymore. So the pandemic. So I would encourage every couple that has a fragile marriage or a strong marriage, invest in your marriage. Get the tools, get the resources. You can get our book. I'm not even trying to push the book. Get some resources. Get the help. Do the work. And protect your love. Protect your love. It was very important to us because we were both from divorced families. We had to protect our love. We couldn't allow ourselves to just go there. Because it would hurt John or he would hurt me. So we would hold back. Because we had to learn to fight our battles and pick the right fights. Probably no fights at all.
Go ahead.
Well, one more thing, and the last thing I'll say about this concept of equity. The day I married Sandra was the worst I would ever be. So now think about that.
Okay.
Because if I'm appreciated in value, then that means I begin to build myself, not her. I get better every year. I'm a much better man today than I was 41 years ago. And that's why she still values me. Sandra's a much better woman. And she was a great woman 41 years ago. That's why I married her. But I can tell you right now, she is off the charts when it comes to her value and what she has become over the last 41 years, because she's not worked on me. She's worked on herself. And so we're much better human beings. That's the concept of marriage equity. Whereas a car, you go down and to the point where you're so dilapidated, I got to go get me another car. So anyway, that's
I feel like I'm in a marriage session right now. I mean, y'all got a marriage retreat coming up because I'm so up there, and I'm gonna have to find the replay because y'all blessing my soul right now.
The pandemic is over. Angee, level up. We need to do it in Atlanta. Let's do it.
Let me give you a real life. This is, we're almost out of time. I'm going to give you a real life example because I feel it's important that we're transparent also. Yes. And that we pull the curtains back and we kind of look into John and Sandra. We're talking big. We're talking, we talking, we sounding good, but it's real. It's not talk. It's not fluff. This is real. We had to develop ourselves and work on our marriage. When we got married, my history, my social life, my mother was a drunk. Every weekend she was drunk. So she had to sober up during the week. So by the time Friday came, she was drunk again. So we had to pretty much kind of help raise ourselves. So we developed the yelling and screaming, very emotional. We also had demons in the house, y'all, but that's another story. But they were real. And I thank God nothing ever happened. But we just were angry. Because of course you're going to be angry. There's no spiritual authority. There's no natural authority. So anyway, when we got married, when I would get upset, I would start screaming to the top of my voice. And I'll never forget, he would say, calm down. Well, I'm up here in high soprano. I'll never forget, he said, we were in the midst of I was in a heated discussion. I was yelling and screaming, and he was trying to calm me down. And all of a sudden, in the middle of that, he turns around and walks away. And my mouth drops. I'm like, oh, no, you didn't. Leave this juicy, crazy yelling and screaming. I wasn't finished. He goes to the bedroom and locks the door. I walk up to the door, and the door's locked. And I said, open this door. We're not finished. I'm not finished telling. He says, when you calm down, we will talk. I'm calm. Come on out. So he says, when you're calm, we will talk. So I went and I sat down. 5 minutes later, I said, I'm ready. So he says, no, when you're ready. So then I finally calmed down. He came out. And so we started talking again, and I got heated again. He walked away again. I said, whoa, wait, what, where are you going? He said, I'll refuse to talk to you until you calm down. And do you know, I had to calm down because he would not talk to me until I did. He taught me how to stop all of that yelling and screaming because it's abusive and it's destructive to your marriage. It tears away at the foundation of your love and how you see one another. And so we have to protect our marriage. So there are things we're doing in our marriage must stop immediately. Must stop. Whatever you need to do,
then we get
stop.
back to you. So the other side of that, the Lord told me. I said, I'm a black belt, and I was very good in martial arts, a champion. And I didn't want to get angry and do something crazy.
Cut my head off.
So I said, Lord, what do I do? He said, a soft answer turns away wrath in the scripture. And everything in my mind said, but if you do that, she's not gonna think you're a man. The devil's telling me, you need to put her in her place. But God spoke to me and said, you got to decide whether you're going to believe my word or whether you're going to do this yourself. Now, soft answer turns away wrath. That's how you overcome this. And I began to do that. And that's when things change. But I had to believe the word and apply the word to that particular situation. The word of God can be applied to all aspects of our relationship. And I learned to do that, and that's how things begin to change. So.
I think Rodney, you had a point. I know you were about to say something. No.
She had pointed at me because that's how I handle heated discussions. It's like, hey, when we calm down, we can talk. Because I'm not going to be sitting here yelling, because I've seen that a lot when I was younger. I'm not going to sit here and yell back and forth with you. Nothing's going to get accomplished. So.
Wow. And John, when you talk about equity, when you are building equity, you have to have the tools. So when I heard the tools that you use, and this is what we need to remind ourselves, our tool is the Word of God.
Oh my God.
It really is. It is, first of all, it's our life manual. So absolutely. How you were able to turn that around, John, you heard the audible voice of God. And it's not because people are like, God says so. No, that's not how God does. God is revelation. He does give us revelation knowledge. And how we get revelation knowledge is that we stay in his word. We read his word on a daily basis. We pray. Pray is communing with him.
Absolutely.
And that's the tool that you use to build on your equity of marriage.
Absolutely.
It becomes that simple. And sometimes, listen, we tend to forget, you guys, and I can be one of them because I can go with the punches. Look, Rodney, I'm one. Okay, I'm the yeller. He's the one like, okay, calm down, sweetheart. Can you calm that down? As late as last week, can you calm that down? We'll talk.
I'm surprised, Angee. That's surprising me. You seem to be always in control, always able to. So I just learned something about my host, y'all. I ain't noticed before now.
Look, that's Angee on the outside. Real talk takes you higher. Look, I tell you that I am gaining the knowledge and the tools that I need to know, because when I do get that feeling, that I just want to go off. What I need to do, and you're absolutely right, John, because I remember someone had showed me this. When somebody's up here and you still down there, who are they yelling at? So you just take that down a notch and learn how to, do something else with that. I need to go back to the Word of God and not trying to hurl it on him, but work it out with my go ahead.
See that, and the point that John made as well, being a martial artist, because I used to practice a long time ago. What you learn is when you have certain skills, your demeanor changes, because when people do crazy things to agitate you, you know what you can do to them. So your response, and that's that godly wisdom as well. I know what kind of damage I can inflict on somebody. So people think, oh, my first instinct is to lash out. No, your first instinct is to come back, because you realize, so you can be ridiculed. Sometimes people make fun of you and all of that. And it's like in your mind, I'll take it, because if my wrath comes out, you're going to be in a hospital. So that's just other little tidbit to understand. And then my mother taught me, never put your hands on a woman, no matter how upset you get. Again, we still go back to even the wisdom that she imparted on me, and she was a praying woman. My mother prayed me out of a lot of situations that I know now, but I didn't know back then that she was praying for me when I was going through the things that I was going through. So it all comes full circle. He's in our lives if we allow him to be, because we can look back on many situations and know that he has something to do with it.
And see, I could probably say that without
you reminded.
Without God's presence on my life, I didn't want to do what the Word says. So that's where the prayer comes in.
Okay.
Because when you are clothed with God's presence through prayer, and sometimes fasting may require that.
Yes.
Then His presence makes you want to do what the Word is teaching. So again, my wife would always know if I've been in the presence of God or not, because I'm much more patient, I'm much more pliable, I'm much more, kind. I have a certain demeanor about myself when I'm clothed with the presence of God. So, but anyone, but I'm talking men now, you must press in to the presence of God in your prayer and seeking the Lord, right? And you'll find your want-tos will change.
Absolutely. Well, listen, guys, we got to take a break. When we come back, we are going to let you know, Posies, if you guys can stay with us for another 5 minutes on our next segment, so that people know where to find you, and then we'll go right into our conversation with the Colllins. You guys don't want to miss our conversation with the Colllins on our next. Why are you shaking your head, Mr. Scribe? You're still muted. You're still muted. It's still muted.
Don't want to miss it is what I was saying. That's why I was going like
this.
Oh.
You don't want to miss it. Listen, you're listening and watching Level Up, Real Talk to Take You Higher. I am your host, Angee.
You wanna know if I still love have these issues of pain, you have these issues of heavy blood flow, it's almost like you are a prisoner. You know, I felt like a prisoner. The calendar was a very big deal to me because I would plan my life around my period. UFE is a great procedure. It's an awesome procedure. So when I heard about it and I was a candidate, I was doing a happy dance because I was like, now I'm going to be able to live and be free.
Hello, my name is Rodney Colllins. I'm an actor, producer, author, and speaker. I'm excited to share my first book entitled Shattered, A Journey Through the Pieces. I wrote this book because there are millions of people like me in this world who are searching for purpose while navigating emotional distress. This book is for anyone who wants to be the producer of their own life. The reader will be encouraged to know that if they, 1, keep God first, 2, learn how to make peace with the pieces in our lives, and finally, 3, never deter from your dreams, that you will see your purpose fulfilled. I love you, and go grab this book on Amazon.com, Shattered, A Journey Through the Pieces.
Kim Ikemia Arrington is a career empowerment speaker, business strategist to career professionals, and employed entrepreneurs who are building their businesses while working demanding full-time job as well as a visionary event producer. She is on a mission to help the massive take career control by positioning them to transition into careers, businesses, and life they love on their terms. Kim certainly affirms that you can love your Mondays by doing only the work you desire and enjoy. Who says you can't love your Mondays? Kim affirms that you most certainly can.
Nothing excites me more than to see children read the books that I illustrated and helped bring to life. You know, it's the process from start to finish, and you know, at the finish line, you see the children smiling and excited and sharing the stories with other children about, you know, an image or a book that they read. Another thing that gives me joy is working with new and upcoming writers, people who have all these stories that they want to tell and, you know, things that they want to share with the world, you know, just like, you know, me wanting to express myself as an artist and, you know, share my expressions. You know, people are doing the same thing with their stories, and to help, I feel like I'm helping making their dream come true.
What you want, baby, I got it. What you need, you know I got it. All I'm asking is for the respect when you get home. Hey, baby, when you come home, darling, I'm every woman. It's all in me. I can read your thoughts right now. If you want from A to Z. Speak life in every way, Let the people see, let them see, and make sure you know you're right. Oh, when you speak.
Hey, this is Shay Bynes with Kingdom Driven Entrepreneur. Let's level up. Tune in every Sunday from 3 to 6 p.m.
It's your girl, Chantel Charisma. Let's level up on Sundays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m.
Hey, this is Dr. Kishana. Level up. Check them out every Sunday from 3 to 6 p.m.
Hey, this is Rodney Collins, inviting you to level up. Check them out every Sunday from 3 to 6 p.m. Eastern.
Welcome back to Level Up, Real Talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the B. Welcome back, everyone. And thank you guys for hanging out with us this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Hey, if you're on Facebook, did you know you can head on over to YouTube? There, I want you guys to hit that subscribe button. In the near future, everyone, Level Up will be migrating to YouTube Live. So we're giving you guys a few weeks that we're going to be simulcast for just a short while, but in the minute, we're heading over to YouTube Live. All right, so head on over to YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Each and every time that we are live, it gives you an opportunity to share in our conversation. Well, let's get back into our conversation, everyone. We're going to bid the Poseys goodbye, but before we do, I want to make sure everyone can find where you guys are. Listen, there's a couple of people that's probably like Falanda. She's like, oh, can I get their telephone?
Their phone number though, while y'all playing. I need y'all to give permission to them to drop y'all number to us. You know, I just
absolutely.
We need to connect with y'all.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, we are going to get off, but I'm going to be listening to you guys as well. But that's app.marriageequitysystems with an S.com. App, and we have an app. App.marriageequitysystems.com. 404-914-1564. That's 404-914-1564. 404-914-1564. Awesome. And thank you so much for the opportunity, Sandra. I've really enjoyed it. And we look forward to hearing the Colllins. I'm sure they're going to do a great job today.
Oh,
absolutely. And thank you for having us again.
Hey, not a problem. You guys actually blessed us more than you ever know. Thank you guys for coming on and sharing your wisdom, being transparent, because that's what it's all about.
All right, God bless you.
All right, we'll see you guys in the future. Okay. All right, well, Colllins,
hey.
What y'all think?
He said that was a marriage app?
Yeah, it's a marriage app. And what we're going to do, we're going to place that in our live feed once we are done. And
okay.
So I got y'all on speed dial, so I'm just going to send that to y'all. How about that?
Yeah.
She's like, look.
Angie. Now I was saying that now that we have the Colllins on, I'm just so excited to meet your other half, Rodney. But what I liked about the last break was you on, and when I heard the voice, I said, that dude must be an actor, because that the voice, come on and check out Level Up. And then hearing Angee go into her host voice, it's like, I'm taking tidbits from you guys for my voiceover action. It's good stuff. It's really good stuff.
Do you hear? This is what I got to deal with, Rodney. Okay.
He's good at putting butter. He spread it. He spread it real good.
Hey, but listen, let me introduce. Hold on. Let's introduce them first, Mr. Scribe. I know that's your boy and everything. Y'all tight like this. But anyway, we have asked the Colllins to come on, ladies and gentlemen, because once again, let me tell you something about your husband. Hey, look, girl, he paints you like a queen. And see, when we see that, we're like, we want her on the show. Can you get her on the show? We want the better half on the show.
Rodney basically told us, I'm going to have to check to see if she can fit Level Up in her schedule, because she's kind of busy.
Yes, she did. Yeah, he did. Look, Falanda, that's okay. We understand. Girl, we do not look at ourselves any higher than God puts us. We have to fit in your schedule.
Have my people call your people.
Look, hey. Where there is a great man, there has to be a phenomenal woman behind it. Come on, Barack and Michelle. Now look.
Yes,
here.
we can. Yes, we can.
Now look. Hey, now let me just say this, girl, because I'm gonna start with you. How did it? Y'all, I know you heard about me. I'm always going way back. I want to hear, not 25 years. Ago. I want to hear 27 years ago. Because, see, We want the whole kit and caboodle.
Ooh.
She said, "Ooh."
Oh, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be real good.
There. That's why I said, "Ooh, okay." So actually, before we even got together, I saw him a year before we got together and before I started attending Bowling Green State University.
Girl.
I went to go visit my cousin, and I saw him in a fashion show, looking quite delicious on stage.
Rodney.
And so the Deltas, they were having a fashion show, and he was a part of that fashion show. And while I was up there visiting my cousin, like, oh my goodness, girl, who is that? And she was like, oh, that's just Rodney. And I didn't really know, take that like, oh, that's just Rodney, like, you know, like a little brother, or like, oh,
okay,
that's Rodney, like that's somebody you don't want to miss. I didn't ask any questions, but I just was like, wow, I was intrigued. I said, he really like standing out for me. And after that, went back home. I was still a senior.
Okay.
And so I went back home, and that following year, I graduated from high school, and I ended up at university. And lo and behold, would see him walk across the courtyard in the same building that I lived in, but there was also a cafeteria in that building.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh my goodness, that's that guy I saw when I came here. And so
Followed you there. He followed you. So basically, when you saw, he said, okay, I'm gonna set this all up. I'm gonna go to the same school, and I know she's gonna be passing by, so let me just walk by. Rodney, my boy.
Listen, I'm getting ready to just go ahead and be all the way 100. That was really a divine appointment that the Lord set up, because in the era that I grew up in and as a high schooler, at that time, dope dealers were like the in thing. And it was like, you know, all my friends had dope boys, and I'm like, shoot, let me get a dope, you know, because I ain't, you know, hey, this is a transparent show.
What to say?
Okay, all right. Y'all real tell, yeah, okay, yes. So I'm gonna tell you. So all of the people I'm hanging with, I hung out with people that were older than me, because I just always been advanced, and they had dope boys, and so I had a dope boy because I'm like, he driving, I'm not. So then I just decided, you know, I will wake up. I was raised by my grandmother, whom I reference as my mom, but she would wake up yelling, go to bed yelling. So I'm like, I got to get as far away as possible when it's time for me to go to college. Well, I ended up going to UNLV, but I didn't stay long. Let me tell you how short of a time it was. I went in August.
Okay.
I was back in September. When the holiday came, we drove back across the country. I said, I ain't going back. It's too far. It's hot. I don't want to come outside. And basically, my dad was like, well, you just going to Cleveland State. I said, well, I'm not going to college then, because I don't want to go to Cleveland State. I still want to have a college life, and I can't really have the full experience if I'm not on somebody's campus. He said, well, I don't know what you're going to do, because I'm not driving you nowhere, because they had shipped everything out. And lo and behold, I called Bowling Green myself, and I said, well, you all have already accepted me. Is it too late for me to come? And they said no. And they said, well, we're not sure where we will put you, but we'll find somewhere for you. I said, well, I'm on my way. I got with my aunts and uncles, and they said, well, we'll drive you up. Cool. So that's how I ended up at Bowling Green the same year that I should have been going to UNLV. And then here it is. I see him walking across the courtyard. I'm like, oh yeah, that's that dude that I had my eye on. So I ended up stalking him lightweight. watching him walk across every day at the same time.
Oh, gosh.
And then Louis Farmer, and basically Louis Farmer came to visit my cousin. He didn't know me from a can of paint.
Okay.
And he looked on my dresser and he said, "Who is this loser?" Which was somebody that I was dating. He didn't know me from a can of paint, okay? That's the type of person he is. And he said, "Well, who is this loser?" He was like, "Girl, you can do better. I don't know what you got going on, but I got the perfect person. He's a church guy. He looks good. You don't have to worry about him being on the down low, because I would be able to tell you if he was on the down low. And because girl, that's how I roll. So, but no, this like my little brother. So I want you to know, I need you to meet him." I said, "I'm not interested. I'm not interested." So he says, "No, you really got to meet him." I said, "I'm not interested." Literally, my cousin held me by one hand and one foot. He held me by the other hand and foot, carried me up the stairs.
Oh my
to
God.
the second level. All this time, I never knew that we stayed in the same dorm. And I said, "Okay, I'm going to walk. When I get over there, I'm just going to say hi. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not saying nothing else." Get around to his room. He opens the door.
And?
Ricky Suave. I said, "Who is wearing a silk shirt in college? Where your t-shirt and shorts at?" So he opens up the door with his silk shirt and his black jeans and his shoes. Like, weren't even tennis shoes, just some nice shoes. And I'm like, OMG, that's the same dude. So when I tell you that God positioned me to be in the right place, to cause me to get myself together and come back from UNLV so that I could meet this man who was destined to be my husband, that is how we all got started. And so I hope you all enjoyed it.
Are you sure that this wasn't one of those Lifetime dramas that played? Because this sounds like a script to me. This sounds like a serious script.
Right now.
She went to college. She didn't want to go there. She came back. They just happened to meet. They wanted to him. "Oh, don't talk to this guy. We got another guy for you to meet." Dragging, kicking, and screaming. And when you saw the brother was smooth. Rodney, you definitely was destined to be an actor, brother. Definitely destined. Silk shirt, I can relate.
Okay, we got to get his side of the story. First of all, now, Rodney, be careful now. Okay.
Yes.
Your side of the story is what?
All right. First of all, before I go, thank you for allowing us to build some marriage equity, with how you talked about how I talk about my wife. That's what I call investments into the love bank. And we'll talk about that later. But I saw Falanda a year before we met also.
Okay.
I saw her because she was involved in a program or something on campus.
Okay.
And I saw her walking, and I was sitting in the audience. And she was walking like up the aisle. And I was sitting with one of my friends. I was nudged him. I said, "You see her over there? Before we leave school, we graduate, I'm going to have her." I was just talking. I had no idea. I was just sitting there I pointed her out. And I saw her before we met too. So this was like, before we met. And then the following year when Lewis, which we give a lot of credit to because he really, has been like a big brother throughout the years. And he knew exactly what we needed. It was crazy. Because I had just came out of a relationship. I had made in my mind, hey, I'm getting ready to graduate in a couple of years. I ain't meeting nobody else. I'm get my degree. I'm tired of this relationship stuff. I ain't got time for this. It drives me crazy. And sure enough, at the moment when I had made up my mind to not be involved with anybody, boom. That's when she comes to my door, and I looked, and in my head, I was smiling. I was smiling outside. In my head, I was like,
"That's her."
I actually called my friend after she left the room. I was like, "You'll never believe what happened." The girl that we was joking about, I was just like blown away. So that's how we met. We both had seen each other before meeting and kind of eyeballed and said, hey, somehow, some way, I'm going to make it to that person.
Wow.
I don't know how to explain it, but just to give God credit for orchestrating the pieces. And I didn't force it. I didn't force it. I knew what I wanted,
Okay.
but I also said, if it's meant to happen, it'll happen. Because I was like, I'm not trying to push and force no more relationships. I'm good on that. So that's how we met.
I love the story, you guys. It's very similar to mine because I saw my husband before too. Look, girl, same way. Now, don't talk to my family because they want to call me a fanatic. I saw him in a band. He was a bass player in the band. I went a couple of times to see him, just a couple. Hush.
There you go.
Whatever. They get a kick out of talking about our story. But anyway, but I want to go back to you, Rodney, because a lot of women have this this notion that love at first sight. Was it that for you? I mean, and maybe you don't see it as love at first sight, but I'm raising two sons, right? So I'm trying to get their insight on intake, and my first thought for them with any woman. Look, you're going to treat her like a princess, not the queen. She's not the queen yet till she get married. Okay, you're going to treat her like the princess first. Okay, you start that first, and then she will treat you like a prince forever. She will then treat you like a king forever, but you being the leader, you start the process. So they're starting to get it. I'm very proud of my sons that one is not dating, one is very serious, and hey, they're doing very well choosing. But in the choosing process, of course, you said you saw her first. Was it something there that you were like, because you said it, that's the one. I mean, I'm going to have that one because you just said it out of your mouth, not even realizing that.
How we do, Angee. We as men.
Yeah.
We as men.
I am a hunter by nature. I'm a hunter by nature. And when a hunter sees something that they want, they know it. They don't have to question. They don't look to the. That's right. That bow and arrow was like, boom. It was like, okay, I found my target. And so that's how I look at it. Even with the fact that I was the first one to say I love you in the relationship. Because I'm the type of person that it doesn't take me all day to know what I want.
Okay.
When I know what I want, that's it. I'm not like, let me look over here. Let me look over there. No. Damn, this is exactly what I've been looking for in my life.
Right? It was just, whoop, this is it.
He wanted to be a little bit more sure because her background was like, oh, this is what I wanted. And then I just said, nah, I don't really want those kind of things.
But no, I did hear that. It is something that's inside of you guys that you know the at first sight.
Yeah.
You know that's the one. Then you're just kind of trying to figure out. What my sons have been telling me is like, well, Mom, we just want to make sure that she like us back. So we don't want to go on out there and then get shot down. That's so hard.
It's a bad feeling, Angee. That's a bad feeling. That's like being back in the day when you go to the little club and stuff and you on one side of the room and she's on the other side of the room and you get up and there's not too many people on the dance floor. You walk all the way over to her and her girlfriends. You extend your hand because you wanted to dance and she goes like this.
Yeah, you like.
You got to walk all the way back across the room, and your boys are sitting there laughing at you. So you better be sure.
I was very hesitant to even approach her. One, I heard she was in a relationship at the time with some loser, like he said, and I was just like, you know what? I ain't got time to be messing with somebody who in a relationship. And it's like, if she there, fine. I'll leave it alone. I'll just keep it moving. Because Nolan, I don't, men, we don't like rejection. We don't,
I was kind of the opposite. We don't like rejection, but here's my thing. This was way back in the day. Now, way back in the day, I was going to college. I was away at school, and I was moving back towards getting back with the Lord. But, we got those different times. And I would be like you, Rodney. We'd be at a gathering or something. I would look, oh, yeah, I'm going to be talking to her.
Yeah.
And I just knew that it was going to happen. If whatever that was, that's how it was. But the empathy, and you sound similar to, it's like, I know what I want. Yeah. And if it's going a direction, like you're not going to talk to somebody, oh, I can see she's into the material stuff. You got a car or you got the money on campus and stuff. I would shy away from that. Why create an issue if you know it's gonna happen? So you kind of, and that's a cool story though. That sounds like a little little docudrama that could be on Lifetime or BET or something like that, you know.
Hey, let's take it from there and put it all the way on ABC.
I receive that. I receive that.
Listen, guys, we got to take our break. When we come back, we're going to continue this conversation. Listen, if you are on Facebook or whether you are on YouTube, share this information, you guys. We're having fun with Colllins. We're going to have more real talk that takes you higher. You're listening and watching Level Up, Real Talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the B. We'll be right back.
Yes.
Introducing Rain Premium Sanitary Napkin. Rain has an innovative design that is made with a strip infused with Nobel Prize-winning material, graphene. The infused graphene strip may provide various health benefits that potentially help relieve painful abdominal cramps, help balance the body's pH, help eliminate harmful bacteria, help with aroma, help fight fatigue, boost metabolism, boost immune system. Graphene moves heat away from your core and contains vibrational energy. In this test, we will add water to the graphene strip and then place a 7-watt light bulb onto the strip to demonstrate the level of energy contained. These medical claims have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. All results may vary. Protect the most precious jewel in the world, you. For more information, contact the person who referred you to this video. Rain is exclusively designed by Jewel Sanitary Napkins.
Have you been sluggish, bloated, overweight? You could be toxic from your environment, food, and medications. It's time for a clean start. Come by or book online today.
Men's and women's wear has statement pieces or full head-to-toe custom design. It's the personal styling service customized to your fit, lifestyle, and budget. I am Marion Boyd, CEO and your designer guide for success. Contact me at 770-402-0730 Eastern Standard Time from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. only. I'm on Facebook at Marion G. Boyd or Instagram at Marion_Collection1. Get in, my people, where you fit.
Hey, this is Gina A. Towns on Real Talk that takes you higher. Level up. Ordinary people with extraordinary stories.
It's Dr. Morgan. Time to level up. Every Sunday from 3 to 6 p.m. We look forward to having you tune in.
Hi, this is George Vincent.
And Rick Irvin.
And we are the Heavenly Deposit Team, and
we need you to level up.
Hey, this is your girl, Joanna Hill McGill, Walmart's first Next Gospel Superstar winner. I need you to level up.
Hey, this is Jonathan Graham from Black Out the Box, and you're listening to Angee from the B, Mr. Scribe and Robin from NYC. Level up every Sunday from 3 to 6 p.m.
And welcome back to Level Up, Real Talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the B. Welcome back, everyone. And thank you guys for hanging out with us this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Hey, if you're on Facebook, did you know that you can head on over to our YouTube channel? Head on over to our YouTube channel, everyone, and please hit that subscribe button, because in the few weeks to come, Level Up will be going exclusively on YouTube, and you don't want to miss another live show. So let's get back into our conversation, you guys. We have the Colllins in the studio by way of Blue Jeans. They're in their personal studio, so are we. We are trying to be COVID compliant. In
Not
fact,
trying, we are being COVID compliant.
Hey, there we go. Yeah, I don't use the
We
word
don't have to
try
wear
at all.
masks.
So.
We don't have to wear masks. We're socially distanced. Angee is in one part of Georgia, I'm in another part, and the Colllins are all the way on the West Coast. So we don't have to worry about any type of cross anything because we're virtual.
Yeah.
Love doing it, you guys. Once again, thank you for coming on and sharing your story. I got to give some shout outs, you guys, because y'all know y'all funny. Did y'all know y'all were funny? Look, we had our number one fan, our top fan, as well as Miss Doris. We got two people, Miss Mary Gooseby. Let me just tell you, she's like, you are so right, Mr. Scribe. And what a story, says Miss Grace Hindy. I want to say this also. We got a few people that are putting our show on their big screen.
Oh, wow.
So I've got a few of our top fans. I said, look, you know what? You guys are saying that you're putting on a big screen. They have switched their regular scheduled broadcast for the broadcast of Level Up.
Wow.
It's humbling. Okay, it's humbling. But I just want to thank all those guys who got us on the big screen and just said, hey, you know what? Level Up is going to be with me every Sunday from 3 to 6 p.m. So I really appreciate you guys. Also, who just tuned in is Iran Joya. I hope I said that name correctly. Maybe somebody who you know, Mr. Rodney Damon Collins. Maybe not.
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
we got new fans that are coming on. So thank you guys for tuning in. What I want everybody else to do. Oh, and Miss Mary said, yes, she's got it on the big screen.
Now, I know Miss Mary.
Got it on the big screen.
And
okay.
Angee, in addition, our number one fan, Mary Gooseby, basically when I was sharing the thing about the possible script, she said Hallmark.
Look here. Hey. She may see something that we don't see. I'm not
Speak
mad
it.
about that.
Speak it.
Speak it. Speak it. Let me say. Look, they are. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but they are. Hollywood really is trying their best to make their pivot during COVID and understand now that Black and brown films do make money. So I want everyone to know, in case you did not know, Rodney is an accomplished actor. So what we want to do, we want to have more of our films to be up and coming so that Rodney not only can be in the film, but he can also start directing your film. Rodney, I got a script for you. And also...
and producing as well. That's an important piece. And that's really important, too, because of the climate that we're in. We're brown people on this platform, right. And we see the transition of what's going on in this country. I just watched a program by the Undefeated. We're in the room, basically mixing athletics with music. So it's basically ESPN. They do a lot of excellent. I ain't trying to plug ESPN, one of my favorite channels, but they did a really good job of, and Rodney, you being an actor, interviewing athletes, musicians, actresses, even on the sports side, like the young lady that did her gym routine to Janet Jackson's music, and how she got some backlash because, why would you play that kind of? We always have to try to do things in a certain way. Our relationships, the way they're portrayed on film, all of these different things tie into our theme for today. Back to you, Angee.
Oh yeah. Well, look, I back to them. Let's get back right into y'all's relationship again. We're nosy. No. No.
Yes, she is. She didn't slip, y'all. She didn't slip. She nosy. Let's just be transparent and level up. Angee wants to know when you was 8, 9 years old. I'm surprised she hasn't asked that question. Rodney, was you acting at 10?
No. It's all about their relationships. And there are a few people that are commenting, and they are so thankful that you guys have been very, very transparent about, how you met up. Because, look, let's talk about what we had said with our first couple. This pandemic has hit a lot of couples, you guys. Wow. And so we just really want to know, how did you guys get through it? What were give us some techniques. Look, I even need to learn some, okay? So my husband and I are fine, but I don't mind learning some new stuff.
I'm going to let my wife address that first, but I wanted to ask something. That, Angee, you are the A in CIA. Yeah, she's the A in CIA. So, but and there's nothing wrong. We all need to continue to work and keep our parts oiled and lubed so we can run efficiently, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and be quiet and let my wife take it first, and I'll go ahead.
So I'm just gonna say that for me, COVID has been a huge blessing because Rod was burning both ends of the stick, and so. It's like he would always reiterate, it is quality over quantity. Well, one of my love languages that's at the top. I mean, I have a couple of them.
You have that sub. Yep.
But I'm like, okay, yeah, I love quality time, but I'm all about quantity too. So it's been a major blessing to be able to have him here, because then I just been getting a whole lot of time, and so that's been amazing. But what I will say is, prior to COVID hitting, we already had hit a bump in the road, and as a result of hitting that bump, because we have never argued, yelling and screaming, and so when the couple said what they said, because of the type of relationships that I was in previously, and I would argue all the time, and that was the environment that I was around, he told me, well, when you're ready to have a conversation in a sensible manner, then we can talk. Until then, I don't have anything to say. And I was like really pissed off. That was like the very beginning of our marriage. And so I was like, what? Like, I kept trying, but he just would not even engage me. And so, but what I will say is that as a result of that happening and us not really communicating, it caused me to shut down. And it caused me to let stuff build up over a period of time. And then when something would happen, it would just be like, blah. And so then it was just like, I felt like I had to walk on eggshells our whole relationship and not really be able to communicate. And because my parents who raised me were my grandparents, they were old school. So my mom would have been 91 in August if she was still with me. And so it was like, what I say go. And I don't have to explain nothing to you. So I felt like I didn't really have a voice. And so then in turn in my marriage, I felt like I didn't have a voice because he wouldn't argue with me. And with him not arguing with me, I shut down. So it wasn't until last year. Yeah. Last year, we started going to counseling.
We did marriage therapy.
And as a result of that, when we went through that process, she ended up getting to a point where she said, okay, like, what is really bothering you? And I was able to communicate a few things. And so one of the things as a part of that, we have to repeat what the other person said. So what I believe I heard you say is, and then he repeated what I said. I felt like I had the Holy Ghost because I had to just stand up and I was like, oh my God, I feel like I've been hurt. And so he didn't really get it. Okay. And so because part of that childhood trauma was attached to me not having a voice, also with me not being able to really voice my opinion or saying what I wanted to say because I felt like I didn't know how to communicate because he wasn't willing to communicate the way that I was trying to communicate. So then I just shut down. And so it felt like years had been lifted. And at that particular point, I said, oh, it's no going back. Like, I've been heard now, and I am going to forever be heard, and I refuse to be silenced ever again. And so once again, but I had to recognize that there was some childhood trauma that was attached, and there was childhood trauma for him as well that was attached to, whereas that's why he responded the way that he was responding to me and saying, like, I'm not going to argue with you. Yeah. But we never discussed it. That was what the issue was. And because we didn't have the proper tools, and granted, like they said, we had 20 years up under our belt. You know what I mean? Plus 20. But we still were not necessarily being heard. And so as a result of that happening, and we ended up going through the marriage, then we were in a position to be able to communicate and not want to take each other's head off in the midst of being in the house. That's
very, very important that you say that, because being transparent like you just have been, like you saying, you brought stuff, he brought stuff where you were broken. And then you try to come together, and a lot of that stuff, you don't forget it, but it's part of your life, but it manifests itself at certain times. So when you guys started to argue, that past pain that you had kind of pushed to the back end comes out. But to your credit, you as a couple, let's be real now. I'm from New York. I keep it real. A lot of couples that trauma would have been like this. It would have been, you know what? I'm not going to deal with this. You go your way, I go my way, which is typical of what happens with a lot of couples. But being believers, we still in this world. Right. We still got trauma. We still got hurt. But the fact that you guys sought the help, like you said, the tools to work through, and then you had your epiphany. Your epiphany was, I finally had somebody listen to what I have to say. I can't even imagine what that would have been like for you. Because when you said it and he repeated it, it's like your whole world opened up.
Yeah.
And now you guys are closer than ever, because now I know how to talk to my wife. And I'm still dealing with stuff too, even at my age, still dealing with my wife with certain things, but to be open and willing to have the discussion. And that's why we're doing this show. Because a lot of couples, some couples will say, I liked it before the pandemic because I didn't go home. A lot of guys are out and about. Well, I'll deal with her a little bit later on. Now you're forced on each other. And the thing is, how you going to get along? But you can't go nowhere. Where you going?
Yeah.
Nothing's open. Can't go to the movies. Can't go to the club. Can't go to the bar. Wherever these folks want to go. Because we as men, that's what we do now. And I'm sad because my friend just sold his house and he had a man cave with a pool table. So every Thursday night, that was my escape. I go back. And then she kind of didn't really hurt my feelings, but this is how you guys do. She said, well, Nolan, I'm glad that you go spend time with your friend playing pool because you're not here and I have my me time. So I guess it worked out.
Yeah.
But listen, Mary says, yes, many times we bring previous baggage into our marriage. That's why being whole is important before coming together. However, God can still make it work with his guidance. Thank you, Mary. Oh, man. Yeah.
You want to know one thing that I've always felt as a conviction when I make a commitment, especially when it comes to marriage, that yes, we both bringing baggage into it. But say if I get, just because we're having these issues and we can't work through these issues and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go my way, you go your way. I'm going to carry my luggage, which is a little bit more now, and I'm going to take that to the next relationship. And so then that next relationship going to be dealing with not just the stuff I had, but then for what I brought from this relationship, now I'm throwing more weight on somebody else. So no matter what, one, I knew I was in love and I like my wife. Two things.
Oh, okay.
Two things. I was in love with my wife and I like her. And I want to work through this. I want to see us have a very successful marriage. Yeah. So in order to do that, I had to decide that I really wanted this. That's where we started.
I have a question for you. Yes. Being an actor, and when you guys was going through the trauma and things that you guys was going through, how did you find, because you got to go out and make a living for your family, and you got to do auditions, you got to get in the right mindset to go to the auditions. How was that when, man, we just had a kind of a blow up and now I got to go to this audition and they want me to play the role in a certain way. I got to forget about what just happened in order. How did you find, and also the question is for you, how did you feel about when that would happen and he would go out after something like that, knowing that you would get, I'm putting you on the spot.
Yes. Thank you, because y'all had me last time.
Do we have a Holy Ghost appointment here or what?
You know what? I just checked, and I think the answer to that question is yes. I just checked in with the Holy Ghost, and he said, yes, we do.
Lord have mercy.
Well, to answer your question, Nolan, is like it created an immense burden. Like, I'm the type of person, I'm wired, I need my home to be at peace. Me and my wife, my family. Even if I'm at odds with my wife, my son, or my daughter, I'm not right. That's how I'm wired. I'm like, no, I got to be right with them so I can function outside. And so when I would go on auditions after having, some issues, man, I wouldn't be right. I wouldn't be myself. I wouldn't be able to focus. I wouldn't be present because my mind would be back at home. Like, until my home is right, I can't be publicly out here doing this like this. So that's how I've always felt. My private life has got to be in place before I go out there publicly doing stuff and people looking at that.
Wow. And that's actually biblical because your ministry starts first in home.
That's how I'm
How was
wired.
it for you? For her, how was it for you as well?
What I discovered is that everything that you're feeling doesn't need to come out right then and there.
Girl, yeah.
And you also have to respect boundaries even within your marriage and even with the person that you're doing life with. And one of the things for him is he needs to be focused. So if it's something that's heavy, if it's something that is going to take some time for him to process, and he's not someone who's like immediate, like turn right around. Let's talk about it right now, and let's deal with this. And so he's like, can we schedule this? And I'm like, schedule this?
That's the active part. That's the active part of him. I can see that. Because knowing that he's got to go and do certain things. Because when you're on set, okay, Rodney, we need you to do this particular scene. What if it's a heavy scene and you got to cry tears and stuff like that? You got to go deep inside of you to bring stuff like that. And you being understanding that he's an actor. Because that's why a lot of, like, they talk about the celebrity matchups and things like that don't work out. Because you'll see actors and actors. He's an actor, she's not. They'll get together. As soon as he blows up, he's gone. Or she's gone.
Yes.
Because they tend to go their opposite ways.
Yes.
It's even though, Sue, like how some of us are processors. So sometimes we need to let something marinate for a minute.
Yeah.
I'm not that person, but he is.
Yeah.
And so, whereas I want you to give me an immediate response, I want you to break it down right now. And I had to really, have a moment, a come into Jesus moment, and realize it's not about you. It's not about you. And you need to respect boundaries, because if he wasn't respecting your boundary, you would have a whole lot to say. And it would just be on and popping. So if you're going to want that, what are you going to give back in return? So I had to understand that, okay, this is his job. It may not be what you consider to be like a typical job or I felt like, because he said, well, would you want me to talk to you about something heavy?
Before going to work.
I was like, I don't care. Talk to me about anything. It don't really matter. But I really understood his point at that point, and that's when I said I need to have boundaries and I need to respect that.
Well, listen, guys, we got to take another break. These breaks are coming in the unopportune time, but we got to pay some bills. Listen, you guys, come on back from other side of the break. We're going to have more conversation with the Colllins. Listen, we only got a few more minutes. I told you guys it's going to go fast. Didn't I tell y'all? I told y'all. It always go fast. Now we get into the juicy part. Now we got to have you back on. You're listening and watching Level Up, real talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the B. We'll be right back.
Oh, that was funny.
You think by now we'd be through with this? You think by now we'd have this thing figured out? This one hurts a little different. Oh, something's different this time. Oh, yes it is. Something's different this time. Oh, I know there's something different this time. This time. Oh, something's different this time. Maybe it's the way the tears are falling down. They're falling a little harder this time. Yes, they are. And this time they fall from your eyes. Maybe it's the way. Maybe it's the way that we all feel so breathless this time around. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. All I can say is something's different this time. There's something different this time. Yeah. Something different this time. Yeah. Something is different this time. Oh, yes, maybe a change will come. People are hurting. People are burning inside. Wondering why this keeps happening. Why this keeps happening. Oh, why? I ask you why. It takes so long to say that it's wrong when we die. We die by the hands that should only save lives. Ooh, something's different this time. Different this time. I believe in my soul. Something's different this time. Something's different this time. Something's different this time. Yeah. Oh, no. Something's different this time.
Hey, this is Nolan Holloway, aka Mr. Scribe. Just letting you know that I have 3 books of poetry that's available on Amazon.com. So when you get a chance, go to Amazon.com, look up Nolan P. Holloway Jr., not Mr. Scribe, and pick up one of my books for your enjoyment. Peace.
Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you tried, things just still go wrong?
Many times.
What do you do?
I let go and let God.
All I'm asking from you is to bump up our credit limit to where it was.
It's declined.
We're experiencing some financial hardships at the moment.
You have 6 days to make payment.
I can't believe this is happening.
You know, I never asked you to pray with me.
It's you and me. We got this. God wants to help you, Peter.
Excuse me?
But you're not letting him in.
I did once.
Last time we spoke, you took a man away from me I loved dearly. From that day, I swore to take matters into my own hands. But now I don't know what to do.
I know that you don't believe, but I will pray for you.
I love you so much. Capimo.
It was a miracle. You believe in miracles?
Listen, if you need me, you call me.
All of the angels in heaven are rejoicing. You gotta know that everything is gonna be okay.
What you want, baby, I got it. What you need, you know I got it. All I'm asking is for a little respect when you get home. Hey, baby, when you come home, darling, I'm every woman. It's all in me. I can read your thoughts right now. If you walk from A to Z. Speak life in every way, Let the people see, let them see, and make sure you know you're right. Oh, when you speak.
What's up? It's your boy Fred Jones. Let's level up on Sundays 3 to 6 p.m. Ordinary people with extraordinary stories.
It's Dr. Robert Frazier, CEO of Silk Educational Consulting, and it's time to level up every Sunday from 3 to 6 p.m. Real talk that takes you higher.
This is Be Wise. Listen or watch Level Up every Sunday from 3 to 6 p.m. Keep it locked right here.
Soy Udani y te invito a escuchar cada domingo de 3 a 6 de la tarde Level Up, sube el nivel, gente corriente con historias extraordinarias. No te lo pierdas.
And welcome back to Level Up, Real Talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from The Bee. Welcome back, everyone. And thank you guys for hanging out with us this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Hey, if you guys are watching on Facebook, I just want to let you know that we are simulcast, also on YouTube. So head on over to YouTube and hit that subscribe button. Let's get right back into our conversation, you guys. We have in the studio the Colllins, all the way from Sunnyside, California. So glad you guys are hanging out with us, talking about and having some real talk about your relationship. Well, as we're coming to a close to our conversation with you guys, 25 years in, what can you guys say? Because Miss Mary is saying, I hope the young people are listening. I got to tell y'all, I did invite my son, the one who's got a serious one. I'm like, look, y'all may want to listen to this one right here. Look, they look at their mom and their dad like they don't know what they're talking about, but then they'll hear somebody else say the same thing we just said. You know how that goes.
Yes,
they're gonna start listening.
We know.
Yes.
So y'all do have a girl and a boy, right?
Yes.
And our daughter just got engaged.
Yes.
To an incredible young man. So we're happy. We're happy. But, they got some lessons to learn.
And y'all sitting over there looking like, what y'all doing with somebody that old about to get engaged? I know everybody's like, how old are they? They have a what?
Yeah.
Y'all sitting there, y'all just got out of college about 5 years ago.
I wish.
We're gonna get the book from the last couple and
we're getting the Posey's
gift it
book
to them.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's amazing, y'all. So thank y'all so much. That's what it's all about, and this is what we love about having our show is having people just come together even outside the show and building relationships, because this is we're building the kingdom really through the messages that we are trying to bring to our audience. And you guys did an amazing job, just helping people to understand. First of all, be real. Be transparent, because your transparency, what you've gone through is going to help the next person. I'm sorry, Falanda, you were about to say something, girl. I got all it.
No. I just wanted to say, it's really, really important to make a decision while you're dating as when you're in a marriage to make a commitment to never hit below the belt.
Wow.
One of the things that we decided, and that's one of the things just through the grace of the Lord, that we do not hit below the belt, because words are powerful, and we know that the word tells us that words can cut.
Yeah.
I know the little saying that we would sing as kids, like sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt. That is a lie. That is a lie. And so once they're out there, you can't take them back. And also, whatever you put out there, that means that there's something that's within that you're just haven't been willing to deal with. And so, just like it's important to keep a united front, before your kids, and don't let them pit you against each other and play games. It is so important that you always have a united front and that you don't blast each other in the public, and deal with whatever you need to deal with at home. So that way, no one's ego is at stake. No one's, even just outside of ego, no one is feeling degraded, because who wants to feel degraded? And so that's one of the key things.
And you're not leaving the door for other people to say, oh, trouble in paradise, maybe it's my turn to slide on in there.
Oh, good point.
Signs of maturity. That's the signs of maturity, because you're absolutely right, Rodney, because we know how these folks are out here, male and female. They see an opening. Trust me, the enemy right in their ear. Look. She ain't feeling right right now. So, you know what I'm saying? Or, hey, something going on. Let's be real. The enemy is real.
Yes.
And I know people want to deny and act like it don't exist. We know it exists because we've all experienced him trying to tell us stuff. And at times, when we listen to him, what happened? And now that we have the wisdom to know who he is, we can avoid a lot of stuff that we had to deal with and impart it on our children and on people in our circle.
Yes.
Also, the grass is not greener on the other side. And just
Nolan.
like you said, you're going to end up just taking that baggage and just taking it on to the next. So why not build with the person that you have already been building with? Why not acknowledge your two imperfect people who are together? And if you made the commitment and you said at the very beginning that this is who God placed in your life, then why not work at it? Put in the work. Because regardless as to who you're with, you're going to have to put in the work. The only time I'm saying that will be a no if somebody is being abusive.
Yeah,
that would be a no.
Oh, no.
That would
Absolutely.
be a no. You know what
Absolutely.
I mean? But if you are genuinely both willing to put in the work, then make it work. Do
That's
whatever
the
is
key.
necessary.
That's the
That's what.
key. Like you
That
said,
is
putting in most people, let's be real, we're believers and we struggle. So
Yes.
for other folks that's in the world, the first time adversity happens, they want to run. To me, like you guys have shared, that adversity makes you even strong. The fact that when you get through it and you look back, honey, remember 2 years ago when we was going through a difficult time and we was at each other's throats and things wasn't going well, and now we're in a place of peace. That just ties it so much tighter when you go through something and make it out on the other side.
Friction is beautiful in a relationship because just like when you rubbing that stuff together, it's hot. It's a lot of friction going on, sparks flying, everything. But when it's done and it cools, it's bonded tighter than ever before. So that's what friction is supposed to do.
Yeah, iron sharpens iron. Iron sharpens iron, and I definitely believe that's what's been happening in our relationship. We had so much friction. Good Lord, I mean, I'm sure. Well, y'all see him shining, right?
Angie, that stuff up there, Botox.
So anyway, no, I mean it really does, you guys. It really has made my relationship with my husband a whole lot stronger. I mean, I've said throughout many of the shows the things that we have dealt with, and some things that I know I just knew it was going to break us up. But I found that in those times we got closer, and what I found out is that my husband is an incredible man because he did not give up. He did not give up. He did not run away. You know, some people will tend to run away when the going gets really, really hot, and it got hot here. Yeah. But we made a commitment. I'm gonna tell you this: there are people that will marry marriage and not the person. So when you when you say, Rodney, that you like her, 90% I like him. 90%, I'm being real. 90% I like him.
Yeah, that's real. That's real.
Yes.
You know,
10%. But on the most part, we do like each other, and that if the 90% was on the other side, it is hard. Because when you look at your spouse and you constantly saying, "I don't like you," I just don't like you. Yeah. And so the love is it becomes a little harder, but anything can happen through the word of God, through prayer, like the other couple was John. Yes. Sorry, John and Sandra Posey, as they have said so eloquently. And they were being transparent because they said to us over and over again, hey, it wasn't peaches and creams over here, but let us tell you the tools that we use to keep our marriage. They're at 41 years.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
I feel like I'm a newlywed when I heard that. I was like, dang, we just got married then.
We just got my grandparents was 61. Okay, I hear you. My grandparents was 61 years. 61, you guys. And I know my mom's is listening, but she relishes in this, that even in death do they part. Do you know they only parted from one another 20 days? He died December 5th, and she died December 25th. 20 days apart. They knew no one else. They knew no one else but one another. How about that for you?
I got chills all up and down my back hearing that. That's like, whew.
Oh yeah. So you just gotta know, that the person that you're with is for life. And that's why I always go back to you, Rodney, when you first saw her.
Yes.
You knew. You knew.
And I go back to the point, I'm just loving the fact that you told the story, but I just remember her side. You know what? All my girlfriends, they used to date dope boys. So I want to throw it like that. But when I met him, changed my life. That's a screenplay for you. Love story. I would be looking at the big screen. I'm like, I know him. I know him. I don't know her. It's gonna be an epiphany for me.
Okay, Mr. Scribe, we're gonna write their story. Okay, we're gonna write it. Okay, y'all be ready. Anyway, for any closing words, you guys. Gosh, we just did not have enough time for you guys. Yeah.
Just say love unconditionally. Love your partner just like the Lord loves the church and loves us, because He's extending us grace and mercy today, and we all need grace and mercy. Give your partner grace and mercy. I think we'll be in great shape.
Yeah. I'll just add on. I was watching Kirk Franklin. He was on the Breakfast Club a couple weeks ago, and he was talking about, you know how his voice gets real scratchy and stuff like that, and how he sounds. And he was like, that's like, he was like, you always need to love the homie. Your wife needs to be your friend, somebody you can have fun with. That's how he described it. And I was like, that is so true. You have to be able to have fun as a couple, enjoy each other's company, laugh together as much as possible. Find a reason every single day to laugh together as a couple. I think that is so good building your relationship.
And you gotta always have a little foreplay in there. I gotta close on that. You gotta flirt.
I'm a big flirt.
However you need to do that. If you need to just touch her hair, whatever. Listen, now you tell me if you agree, Angie.
I agree 100% because I do it all the time. I can be walking away.
Let her finish. Mr. Scribe. What do you say? Go ahead.
Angie, would you agree if they fill your cup emotionally, you'll do anything they want?
Girl, I try to tell them.
I try to tell us nothing. You ain't trying to tell us nothing, Angie.
Yeah, look.
You ain't trying to tell us nothing.
Look, okay, I'm gonna tell y'all this. Look, girl, I was saying I was dating somebody else before him, right?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something about the guy before him. I wouldn't have to worry about anything. He wasn't a dope guy, but he had it going on though. He had the house, the car, but what it was, and to your point, Falanda, my husband, even back then, he did feel something that the other guy just did not. Look, girl, because my family, because my mom knew when she met my husband. That's now, she knew even before I knew. I'm like, how'd you know, Mama? She's like, look, girl, I saw your eyes and I saw his, and I knew. I knew that was the one. You didn't want to admit it because you still trying to figure out the other guy you were dating. Because he had everything. I'm like, look, I wouldn't have to worry about anything. He had all this going. But it was something, if I can't describe it, I'm going to say this. It was something spiritual. Because I remember him walking away because Rodney, he was another guy. He knew what he wanted. He knew it. Yes. He knew it before I did. And 2 weeks in, he was proposing. And I'm like, oh, hold on.
All right. It's like, time out, slow down.
We got to do something. But he knew. But I think he'll tell you even to that point because I saw him first though, and they said that I was. I just saw him a couple of times.
Sitting in the driveway of his house sometimes.
I just went to go see the band a couple of times. Just calling me a fanatic. Anyway, stalker. That's what they try to call it. So, but anyway, when he finally saw me, I don't know what it was. He'll tell you guys that. But the other guy was heartbroken because I end up having to tell him. I still remember the day saying that I'm dating him now, and and I'm not the type of girl that date two people. I couldn't. No. I tried it for 1 week, Falanda, and it didn't. Girl, no. I was like, I can't do it. Too much. Okay, I need to tell this other guy that I'm with this one here. And I lost some friends over it. I did.
Stay heartbroken, but that's the thing. You were not for him. You were supposed to be with a person that you are with now. And so even though sometimes something hurts, God will give us beauty for our ashes. And that's what's key. And so the fact that you had the courage to let go so that he can flourish and go his route, that's what's so key. Yes. And it's just like, he allowed me to see, this is what you've been praying for. And the Lord spoke it very audibly. Said, okay, about to miss up your opportunity. Here it is. You've been praying all this time. You can't say I didn't answer prayer. It's in your hands. And so sometimes you're not willing to see what God has placed before you. And so I'm just so grateful that he allowed me to see this is your grace gift. Get with the program. And so just make sure you're listening to the Holy Spirit. Make sure that you are honoring and respecting one another and loving on each other. And we're so grateful for you all allowing us to be part of this platform.
I'm just glad you all had a chance to get to know her. That's why I was letting her do most of the talking this time. I talked too much the last time, so.
No, you did. No, we listen, you guys. We truly enjoyed having you on. We've got so many people that have given us comments about, just your candor, your transparency, and the love that you have for one another. It absolutely shows, you guys, because you can tell the difference. You can tell in body language. Come on now. Body language.
Yeah,
so,
you cannot. Can't lie.
That's why I said me and my husband were at 90%. I like him 90%. Okay, so anyway, no, we are good, you guys. Love him to death. I can't wait to the day that you guys meet him as well. He's a phenomenal guy. So many people have, just enjoyed you guys coming on with your story. Don't be a stranger. Of course, you guys are not. You're a part of the Level Up family, girlfriend, just like your hubby. So anytime, is there anything you guys got coming up, going on? Come on, Rodney. Is there what's the latest? What's the project?
Well, my podcast is doing well. It's called the Produce Your Own Life Podcast, and it's about self-accountability and really, owning the life. When God created man, he said, go out and produce. So we have a responsibility to create. We're not the executive producer of our life, but we are the producer. And then we have a podcast called Couple Matters. Sponsoring, where we're going to be sharing more of our journey and like little snippets here and there. And just really, we felt like we have been through enough where we're qualified now to share our marriage. So those are some of the things that's happening. I will definitely make sure you guys know as soon as some bookings come up. Yes. I've had some auditions. I'm like, Lord, please give me one of these, because you all will be one of the first to know, so you can put it out there.
Yes.
But I do believe this year is going to be an incredible year for my career. So get ready for some network TV appearances.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
We're looking forward to your wife's story as well. And maybe she won't be the actress. Do I have to cast somebody in her role? But when I see the story, I'll recognize it.
Yes.
And I was just going to ask you all, if we saw a commercial on here, but it didn't say the person's name, there was an illustrator, because I'm looking for an illustrator.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I saw that on there. I'm looking for an illustrator for a children's book that I want to get out this year. Just dealing with self-esteem and just doing your work. And then also
She's a teacher.
Launching my blog and launching my membership for teachers that I can help support them and help them alleviate burnout, and so that I can help them put in effective systems. And so that is up and coming. But you can follow me on Instagram by looking up Epic Edupreneur, and pretty much just follow me there. And eventually, within the next couple of weeks, my links will be up for my membership and also for other things that I have up and coming. So I'll just need to get with you online, because it just said illustrator. He never said his name or information on there. So I need that information.
We got you, girl.
I just want to say, this sparked me just from this conversation. You all made me feel very comfortable, very at ease, because I am really naturally an introvert.
Yes, she is.
But I just felt like I felt so at ease and so at home. And so I just want to just say thank you all so much for just making it feel like I was just sitting on your couch, just chopping it up, getting to know you all and breaking some bread. So thank you so much for that. And just thank you again just for having this platform.
Yes.
Because now you've exposed me, to the couple that was on here. I've already downloaded their book because I'm just a natural learner and always. And then I'm coming for you next because I love poetry and I write poetry. So I'll be downloading yours as well.
Yes.
So I just want to just say thank you so much.
No problem. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, for me, Rodney, Damon Colllins, anywhere.
Okay.
All over. and I say this with all confidence because I've worked hard for this. You can Google Rodney Damon Colllins, and you'll get a scroll full of information on me. I'm everywhere.
You sure will. Yeah. Listen, you guys, Rodney is Googleable.
It's hard.
Yeah. Oh, Rodney. When I Googled you, I'm like, look at my friend. I know him, y'all. I know him. Anyway, just to put it out there, Cameron T. Wilson. Cameron T. Wilson is the illustrator. He calls himself the illustrator. So I'm going to get the information to you, girl. Thank you for bringing him up, because that's the other thing that I love about our platform is bringing people together, especially people of color. Let's lift each other up. Let's build each other with our various businesses. You guys, please, for all of the people that have been sponsors for our show, yes, definitely go out and support them. They have been amazing, amazing people. And it's people also to we're about to play Mike Jeezy. He's next. Hey, look, he is one of our premier independent artists. And if you guys know of any independent artists, now wait a minute now, let me tell you about independent artists that we play. It's got to be clean, okay? It's got to be Mike Jeezy quality, okay? So,
no trap music. Can't be none of that trap. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? None of that kind of stuff. None of that twerking and all that.
Can't do all that. No. So I want you guys, listen, viewing audience, you guys check out this next audience. He is one of our premier independent artists. We want to thank all of our other independent artists, Gina A. Towns, Joanna Hell McGill. I mean, the list goes on. I mean, these artists, they're not playing on regular terrestrial radio, but we're giving them the opportunity on this platform, and let's keep it moving. Yes. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll be back for another live show next week, same time, same place, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Pacific. Yes, Mr. Scribe, I did it. You guys, we love you. Mean it. Take care. Check out Mike Jeezy. He's up next. Take care.
All right. Are we out? Oh, okay, cool.
If I scream in the darkness, could anybody hear my cry? If I scream in the darkness, could anybody hear my cry?
Yeah, woke up in the morning, instead of yawning, roaming through the thoughts in my head, in my bed, trying to figure out if my life was the next step. It's just one of them days. I don't wanna be seen, no need for the sun rays. Y'all don't really wanna feel my pain. If I died tomorrow, y'all wouldn't care, no way. Just me, myself, and I, and all the lies the enemy makes me believe them. But no matter how hard I try, I can't deny it's life worth living next season. I don't wanna be here no more. Tell me, is it the best of my life gets? I just wanna call it quits right now. Go into town, I ain't even made it out of bed yet. Hey.
Darkness, could anybody hear my cry? My cry. If I scream in the darkness, could anybody hear my cry? Hear my cry.
Lord, take me away, I don't wanna feel it no more, cause the pain won't go. Don't nobody wanna hear me complain, that's a lot the front door. Feeling so low, I don't wanna waste your time, so I think that it's best I go. Should I take these pills, should I grab that blade? Matter of fact, think I got a gun in the top drawer. Yeah. Tell my mama that I love her, I ain't mean to bring tears, and my pop's been gone, but deep down I be wishing that my daddy's still here. The girl that broke my heart, I apologize that it wasn't worth your time. Suppose I take this 9 with the tears in my eyes, Holy Spirit says,
if I scream in the darkness, could
Ikemia Arrington is a career empowerment speaker, business strategist to career professionals, and employed entrepreneurs who are building their businesses while working demanding full-time job as well as a visionary event producer. She is on a mission to help the massive take career control by positioning them to transition into careers, businesses, and life they love on their terms. Kim certainly affirms that you can love your Mondays by doing only the work you desire and enjoy. Who says you can't love your Mondays? Kim affirms that you most certainly can.
My name is Rodney Damon Colllins. I'm an actor, producer, author, and speaker. I'm excited to share my first book entitled Shattered: A Journey Through the Pieces. I wrote this book because there are millions of people like me in this world who are searching for purpose while navigating emotional distress. This book is for anyone who wants to be the producer of their own life. The reader will be encouraged to know that if they, 1, keep God first, 2, learn how to make peace with the pieces in our lives, and finally 3, never deter from your dreams, that you will see your purpose fulfilled. I love you, and go grab this book on Amazon.com, Shattered: A Journey Through the Pieces.
Nothing excites me more than to see children read the books that I illustrated and helped bring to life. You know, it's the process from start to finish, and you know, at the finish line, you see the children smiling and excited and sharing the stories with other children about, you know, an image or a book that they read. Another thing that gives me joy is working with new and upcoming writers, people who have all these stories that they want to tell and, you know, things that they want to share with the world, you know, just like, you know, me wanting to express myself as an artist and, you know, share my expressions. You know, people are doing the same thing with their stories, and to help, I feel like I'm helping making their dream come true.
It's been long enough that you've been walking around in the wilderness trying to figure out, who am I? Why am I here? What gifts do I have to make a difference? Well, it's time to warm it up. Discover your true identity. Unleash your gifts and impact the world to become a more bolder, braver, and courageous you. Join me, Kathy Hood, at a life-changing workshop, Warming Up, the journey of owning your power and unleashing your true self.
Cares of Atlanta is a nonprofit 501c3 community-based organization providing holistic health and wellness with locations in Marietta and Metro Atlanta. Our qualified behavioral health professionals provide extensive counseling and treatment in substance abuse, mental health, and opioid addiction. Someone Cares offers a variety of services, and our professionals are waiting to serve you. We are not just an agency, we are a friend.
Unveiled Treasures Bookstore. We offer a variety of items: church supplies, homeschool resources, music, books, and gifts. Our free ministry partners online affiliate program provides a collection of Christian resources. Unveiled Treasures. Exquisite jewels to enrich your soul.
This is Marion Boyd with Marion Collection, real talk that takes you higher, level up, on Sundays from 3 to 6 p.m. It's ordinary people with extraordinary stories.
What's up, y'all? Troy Lance here. It's time to level up. Check them out every Sunday from 3 to 6.
Hey, this is Melly coming at you from the Camp Transformation Center in Davie, Florida, and I need you to level up. Tune in every Sunday from 3 to 6 p.m.
It's your boy, Mark Buddington, a.k.a. Money Mark. Let's level up on Sundays from 3 to 6 p.m. Ordinary people with extraordinary stories. Yeah.